Noble guests were arranged in two symmetrical groups on either side of the grand hall, divided by a long, scarlet carpet that stretched toward the emperor's resplendent throne. With a regal and measured pace, the emperor, accompanied by his 4 captivating future wives, began their procession toward the elevated seat of power. Among the mesmerized onlookers stood Viscount Edward Ashford, his gaze fixed upon the ethereal beauty of the emperor's fiancées. Entranced by their enchanting presence, he seemed to drift into a daze, losing himself in their radiant allure. The subtle shift in his demeanor did not go unnoticed by his observant wife, who felt a pang of annoyance and jealousy. Pinch. Reacting swiftly, she employed a subtle yet effective strategy to reclaim her husband's attention. A discreet pinch to his waist jolted Viscount Edward Ashford back to reality, his dazed expression replaced by an awkward smile as he redirected his focus to the emperor and his entourage. He understood the consequences of succumbing to such distractions, particularly in the presence of his ever-watchful and competitive spouse. Meanwhile, similar scenarios unfolded among other noble couples in the hall. The wives, unable to escape the comparison to the emperor's future wives, grappled with feelings of inadequacy. Despite their own considerable beauty, intellect, and accomplishments, they couldn't help but feel diminished in the presence of these otherworldly figures. Each noble woman, renowned for her grace and elegance, found herself plagued by a lingering sense of inferiority that tainted the otherwise joyous occasion. In the midst of the opulent banquet, Duke Marvin observed the unfolding drama with a mix of satisfaction and curiosity. Having been informed of Julia's exceptional prowess in alchemy, he remained unaware of the identities of the other 3 extraordinary women chosen by the emperor. However, his extensive experience in courtly affairs led him to believe that these women, too, possessed exceptional qualities. As Duke Marvin contemplated the scene before him, a sense of relief washed over him. For years, he had been plagued by concerns over the dwindling royal family since the passing of King Ahmed's wife. The empire had teetered on the edge of uncertainty, its future hanging in the balance. But now, with the emperor's decision to take 4 fiancées, Duke Marvin found solace in the realization that the royal family was once again expanding. The prospect of a larger and more robust royal family alleviated Duke Marvin's worries. With 4 potential successors to the throne, the future of the empire seemed secure. The once fading dynasty could now flourish and ensure the continued prosperity and stability of the land. The grand banquet hall buzzed with envious whispers and flickers of hope. The noblewomen, though momentarily disheartened by their own perceived inadequacies, found solace in the knowledge that they were integral to the empire's tapestry. They possessed their own unique strengths and contributions, essential to the success and prosperity of the realm. Duke Marvin, the astute observer, recognized the complex interplay of emotions unfolding within the hall. Envy and admiration were juxtaposed with insecurity and hope. In the wake of these tumultuous sentiments, the noblewomen and their husbands pledged their unwavering support to the emperor and his chosen ones, determined to rise above their own insecurities and play their part in shaping the empire's destiny. As the procession continued down the carpeted path, the radiant presence of the emperor and his future wives symbolized not only their individual beauty and allure but also the promise of a brighter future for the entire empire. With measured steps, the emperor came to a halt before the majestic throne, an aura of regal power emanating from his presence. Rather than ascending the grand staircase leading to the ornate seat of authority, he turned to face the assembly of nobles that had gathered before him, his gaze sweeping across the expanse of the grand hall. In that pivotal moment, a collective reverence coursed through the noble ranks, prompting them to offer their heartfelt greetings to the emperor. The male nobles, their countenances radiating dignity and poise, bowed with unwavering precision, their bodies inclining deeply in a profound display of deference. Each motion carried an air of grace, as if choreographed with meticulous care, symbolizing their unwavering submission to the emperor's supreme authority. In contrast, the female nobles, resplendent in their resplendent gowns adorned with exquisite jewels, executed elegant curtsies before the emperor. Their movements were fluid and poised, reminiscent of blooming flowers gently swaying in the breeze. As they gracefully lowered themselves, their eyes averted in a respectful gesture, their curtsies epitomized a profound sense of admiration and reverence, an acknowledgement of the emperor's elevated status and their unwavering devotion to their sovereign. In unison, their voices resonated with a melodious harmony as they proclaimed in a formal and reverent tone, "Greetings to your majesty." The words, uttered with utmost respect and humility, reverberated through the hall, carrying the collective sentiment of loyalty and allegiance that the noble assembly held for their emperor. As the male nobles gradually rose from their bows and the female nobles gracefully straightened from their curtsies, an atmosphere suffused with reverence and loyalty enveloped the surroundings. The nobles comprehended their place within the intricate tapestry of the empire's hierarchy and embraced the profound solemnity inherent in their interactions with the emperor. These rituals of deference were not mere formalities, but a profound expression of their unyielding loyalty and unwavering commitment to the imperial throne. Emerging from the shadows with an air of unassuming elegance, Watson, dressed impeccably in a distinguished butler uniform, approached the emperor's side. In his hands, he carried a delicate crystal goblet, brimming with a rich, ruby-hued wine, as if it were a vessel containing the essence of opulence itself. With a graceful bow, Watson extended the glass toward Emperor Aditya, his movements executed with the precision and finesse befitting a ceremony of utmost importance. The emperor, attuned to the subtle cues of his surroundings, accepted the offering, his gaze acknowledging Watson's impeccable service. Raising the glass to his lips, Aditya took a small, measured sip, savoring the velvety notes that danced upon his palate. The attention of every noble present. The grand hall fell into a hushed reverence, the rustle of elegant momentary pause ensued, as if time itself had paused to witness the emperor's actions. And then, with deliberate grace, he slowly elevated the wine-filled chalice, an action that instantly drew the attention of every noble present. The grand hall fell into a hushed reverence, the rustle of elegant garments and the soft murmur of conversations fading into the background. All eyes fixated upon the emperor, their gazes reflecting a mixture of awe and curiosity. The simple act of raising a glass had transformed into a symbol, an unspoken proclamation that something of great significance was about to transpire. In that moment, the atmosphere hung suspended, as if the very air held its breath in anticipation. The noble assembly, their hearts aflutter with anticipation, awaited the words that would follow this momentous gesture. For in the realm of nobility, where every action carried profound meaning, the emperor's every movement had the power to shape destinies and stir the currents of intrigue. With his glass poised in the air, Emperor Aditya cast his gaze over the sea of noble faces, his eyes reflecting a blend of authority and warmth. A subtle smile curved his lips, an enigmatic expression that hinted at the weight of his words. And as silence enveloped the hall, he spoke, his voice resonating with a commanding yet gentle timbre, carrying his intentions to every corner of the room. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed nobles of the realm. Today, as we gather in this grand banquet, I stand before you humbled and honored to address this esteemed assembly. It is on this auspicious occasion that we not only celebrate the prosperity of our great empire but also reaffirm our collective commitment to its enduring legacy. In the presence of such distinguished company, I am reminded of the remarkable achievements we have accomplished together, forging a path of unity, progress, and prosperity. It is through your unwavering loyalty, dedication, and tireless efforts that we have reached new heights as a nation. Tonight, as we partake in this feast, let us also reflect upon the challenges we have faced and overcome. Our empire has weathered storms of adversity, emerging stronger and more resolute with each trial. It is a testament to our resilience, our ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity, that we stand here today, united and unyielding. Yet, as we revel in the glories of our past, we must not be complacent. The responsibilities that come with our privileged positions demand that we continually strive for progress and improvement. We must embrace innovation, nurture talent, and foster an environment where every citizen has the opportunity to flourish and contribute to the betterment of our empire. Furthermore, let us remember that our power and influence carry with them a sacred duty, a duty to protect and uplift those who are less fortunate, to ensure justice and equality prevail in every corner of our land. We must extend a helping hand to the downtrodden, provide solace to the afflicted, and empower the marginalized. It is through our collective compassion and benevolence that we can forge a society built on fairness, inclusivity, and compassion. Tonight, as we feast and revel in the company of our fellow nobles, let us embrace the spirit of camaraderie and unity that binds us together. Let this grand banquet serve as a symbol of our shared purpose, our unwavering commitment to the prosperity and well-being of our empire and its people. I express my gratitude to each and every one of you for your unwavering support, for your tireless dedication to our empire's cause. Together, let us continue to nurture a future where greatness thrives, where harmony prevails, and where our empire stands as a beacon of hope and inspiration to all. May our bonds grow stronger, our ambitions soar higher, and our achievements shine brighter. Long live our empire. Raise your glasses, noble friends, as we toast to a glorious future filled with prosperity, unity, and the enduring spirit of our great empire. Resounded throughout the grand hall as the emperor's commanding voice reverberated among the gathered nobles. It was a resolute declaration, a rallying cry that echoed with unwavering loyalty and unwavering devotion. In perfect unison, the nobles, their crystal-clear glasses glimmering in the warm glow of candlelight, raised them high in a gesture of profound reverence. As the emperor's words lingered in the air, a palpable sense of unity and purpose enveloped the grand banquet, binding the hearts and souls of those present. Their glasses, filled with the finest elixir of celebration, seemed to shimmer with the collective hopes and aspirations of an empire united. Each noble, from the seasoned veterans of courtly affairs to the rising stars of the aristocracy, held their glass with the utmost respect, knowing that this shared moment was a testament to their unwavering allegiance to the throne. And then, as if propelled by an invisible force, the nobles spoke as one, their voices harmonizing in a chorus of devotion. Long live our empire! Their words reverberated with fervor, the weight of history and the promise of a glorious future intertwined. At that moment, the grand hall seemed to come alive with renewed energy, the air crackling with anticipation. The words they spoke carried the weight of generations past, the echoes of triumphs and trials, and the unwavering spirit of the empire. It was a powerful affirmation, a shared commitment to the preservation and prosperity of their beloved land. As the echoes of their resounding declaration subsided, the nobles lowered their glasses with a sense of reverence and contentment. The bond between sovereign and subjects had been strengthened, the unbreakable thread of loyalty woven ever tighter. In this grand banquet, amidst the flickering candlelight and the opulence of the surroundings, the nobles reaffirmed their unyielding support for the empire and its revered leader. As the emperor gazed upon his loyal subjects, a smile graced his noble countenance. The resounding chorus of had solidified the unity that would carry them forward, illuminating the path to a future filled with boundless possibilities. With hearts aflame and spirits alight, the nobles stood united, ready to face the challenges ahead and carve a destiny worthy of their illustrious heritage. For in this moment, as their voices merged and their glasses touched, the indomitable spirit of their empire burned brighter than ever before. Really, thank you very much. Today, esteemed guests, I am honored to make a momentous announcement, the emperor declared, his voice resonating throughout the grand hall. The gathered nobles, caught off guard by the unexpected revelation, couldn't contain their excitement. The notion of the emperor having not one, but 4 fiancées, had been shrouded in utmost secrecy, known only to a select few who resided within the Dragon Palace or the revered old palace nestled at the heart of Azure City. With great pleasure, I shall introduce my first fiancée, a lady of unparalleled beauty and noble lineage, Princess Julia, honored of the esteemed honored noble house, the emperor proclaimed, his words enveloping the room. The reaction was palpable, evident in the widened eyes and stunned expressions of the nobles, their disbelief laid bare for all to see. Whispers rippled through the assembly, for the mention of the name Julia honored carried great weight. She was no ordinary lady, but rather the illustrious goddess of alchemy, renowned throughout the continent for her ethereal allure and unmatched mastery of the alchemical arts. The honored household had long been the gathering place for those in dire need of alchemical remedies, with people queuing for hours, hoping to catch a glimpse of the goddess herself and beseech her aid. Now, the revelation that the emperor had captured the heart of this revered deity sent shockwaves through the room. The nobles were acutely aware that the goddess's beauty surpassed any mortal comparison, while her alchemical prowess far outshone even the most brilliant minds in the field. Julia's mere presence commanded the desires of men across the continent, her hand in marriage a symbol of ultimate achievement, the pinnacle of their dreams. Yet, here stood their emperor, a living embodiment of their aspirations, having achieved what others only dared fantasize about. The nobles marveled at his extraordinary fortune, recognizing the rarity and significance of this union. In the wake of this astonishing revelation, the nobles' astonishment mingled with admiration, their thoughts racing to comprehend the implications of this momentous occasion. At this point, what am I even doing with my life and what is the point of it all? It's over. There is no turning back now. It's official. The emperor, indeed, stands as a man of unparalleled fortune, for the celestial forces have conspired to bestow upon him an enviable fate, one that elicits admiration and marvel from all who bear witness to the extraordinary tapestry of his existence. While some noble instantly felt depressed hearing this, some on the other hand just accepted this fact. After all, Aditya was the best man Julia could ever find. Aditya took the Istran Empire from a second-tier kingdom to a five-tier empire. In less than a year, he managed to expand the empire in every direction. The current empire had territories in all 4 regions of the continent. The emperor was also very handsome-looking and also the most powerful fifth-order cultivator on the planet. He was also the king of all dragons. He is the dragon monarch. He ruled over all dragons. No king, emperor or man on this continent can compare to Aditya. Just like how all noblemen dreamed of marrying one of the goddesses and saw it as their peak ultimate dream, many noblewomen dreamed of becoming Aditya's wife and the empress of the Istran Empire. Becoming Aditya's wife would mean that they would enjoy endless wealth, power, status, respect, and everything that a noble could ever wish for in their lives. As the news of the emperor's engagement spread among the gathered nobles, a mix of emotions swept through the crowd. Some felt a sense of disappointment, realizing their own unattainable dreams, while others gracefully accepted the reality before them. They understood that Aditya, a remarkable man in every sense, was the perfect match for Julia, the renowned goddess of alchemy. Aditya, driven by ambition and wisdom, had overseen a remarkable transformation of the Istran Empire. In a short span of time, he had elevated the empire from a second-tier kingdom to a prominent 5-tier power. His bold vision knew no limits, as he skillfully expanded the empire's territories in all directions, firmly establishing their presence across the vast continent. These remarkable achievements showcased his strategic brilliance and earned him widespread admiration. However, Aditya's greatness surpassed mere political prowess and territorial conquests. His strikingly handsome appearance possessed an otherworldly charm that enchanted all who beheld him. With his well-defined features and an undeniable air of majesty, he embodied the epitome of irresistible attractiveness, captivating the admiration and fascination of people of all genders. However, it wasn't just his good looks that made him respected and admired, but also his immense power. Aditya was incredibly strong, standing at the top of martial skill as a fifth-order cultivator, a rare achievement attained only by the most exceptional practitioners. But his influence didn't end there, as he also held the prestigious title of the Dragon Monarch, commanding all dragons with an authority that surpassed any king, emperor, or person on the entire continent. His unmatched strength inspired awe and reverence, solidifying his reputation as an unstoppable force. Amidst the grandeur of the royal banquet, a symphony of hushed conversations enveloped the noblewomen, their voices laden with a blend of admiration and yearning. As they gathered in intimate clusters, their eyes flickered with a mixture of awe and envy, their hearts alight with a fervent desire to be chosen as Aditya's esteemed consort, the illustrious empress of the revered Istran Empire. To be bestowed with such an extraordinary honor would unfurl a path paved with opulence, influence, and the veneration of society, a realm where they could luxuriate in the embrace of untold riches, wield the scepter of authority, and revel in the adulation that naturally accompanies an exalted position. "I cannot help but imagine the splendors that would befall the chosen one," murmured Lady Isabella, her eyes shimmering with a mixture of wonder and longing. To be draped in silks spun from the finest threads, adorned with jewels that rival the stars themselves, such a life would be nothing short of a fairy tale dream. Her companion, Lady Victoria, leaned in closer, her voice filled with a whisper of anticipation. And imagine the power that would be at her fingertips. With a mere gesture, the mightiest of nobles would bend to her will, and her voice would resonate through the corridors of the empire, shaping the course of history itself. As their words intertwined with the air, Lady Amelia, a young and starry-eyed noblewoman, interjected with a sigh. "Oh, to be the one to capture the emperor's heart, to become the center of his world. It would be the pinnacle of fulfillment, the realization of all our dreams within the realm of nobility." Nods of agreement rippled through the small gathering, each lady harboring her own aspirations, her own secret fantasies of ascending to such heights. Their gazes lingered on Aditya, a figure of irresistible charisma and unparalleled might, as they envisioned themselves as the fortunate recipient of his affection and devotion. In these whispered conversations, the noblewomen discovered solace and companionship, united in their shared yearning for a life intertwined with the extraordinary destiny that awaited the chosen one. For within the depths of their hearts, they knew that becoming Aditya's cherished partner would grant them a coveted place in the annals of history, forever etching their names among the luminaries of noble society. In the midst of emotions and whispered longings, the royal banquet buzzed with a blend of admiration, jealousy, and silent acceptance. The impact of this announcement weighed heavily on the hearts of those gathered, reshaping their dreams and reshuffling the threads of their ambitions. Previously, Aditya had been deeply afraid of revealing his engagement to the esteemed goddess of alchemy. He dreaded the potential backlash from her devoted followers and fervent admirers, knowing that his life could be in grave danger if his connection to her was exposed. However, as time went on and Aditya ascended to unprecedented levels of power and influence, his once prevailing fears dissolved, replaced by an unwavering confidence. He had reached a pinnacle of invulnerability where the concerns of anyone, from this continent or the farthest reaches of the other 5 continents, held no sway over him. With an imposing presence befitting his status as an emperor, Aditya addressed the gathered assembly, his voice brimming with authority. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to introduce my second fiancée, the esteemed princess of the ethereal empire, Alicia Osborne. She is revered as the goddess of wealth. Indeed, to raise one's voice in defiance before the emperor, the embodiment of power and sovereignty, would be the epitome of foolishness. Such audacity would surely incur the wrath of Aditya, a force of nature capable of reducing the defiant to nothingness. Thus, faced with this overwhelming revelation, the assembled nobles opted for silence, understanding that preserving their own well-being was the wisest course of action. As Aditya's words hung in the air, a deep silence enveloped the gathered nobility, broken only by soft gasps and murmurs that escaped the stunned onlookers. Emotion surged within their hearts, revealing their vulnerability. Lady Evelyn, once filled with joy, now showed her shock by clasping her hand to her chest, her eyes widening in disbelief. The goddess of wealth? How is this possible? She exclaimed, her voice trembling with a mix of surprise and envy. Lord Henry, known for his wit and sharp tongue, struggled to find words, his face contorting with a blend of resentment and sadness. To think she, the epitome of wealth, will rise to such heights with Aditya, he muttered under his breath, unable to hide the bitterness in his voice. Lady Charlotte, her delicate features now touched by a veil of sadness, lowered her gaze, burdened by unfulfilled desires. Oh, how I wished it were me, she whispered, her voice tinged with sorrow and envy. Similar sentiments filled the room, as the nobles wrestled with their unrequited longings. Some attempted to conceal their disappointment behind forced smiles and feigned congratulations, while others sought solace in whispered conversations that betrayed their hidden sorrows. Do you see how fate can be cruel? Lady Evelyn confided in her confidant, her voice tinged with desolation. To think Alicia, blessed with wealth and beauty, has won Aditya's heart. It feels like the gods conspired against us. Lady Charlotte, barely audible, confided in a trusted companion, her eyes clouded by a mix of sadness and envy. I had hoped my own charms would capture Aditya's attention. Alas, my dreams were in vain. Witnessing Alicia, the goddess of wealth, ascend to such heights, is a bitter pill to swallow. And so, the noble figures, once full of dreams and aspirations, found themselves shrouded in melancholy. Their hearts grappled with the reality that Aditya's affections were now bestowed upon Alicia Osborne, the goddess of wealth. Though they tried to hide their disappointment, the shadows of jealousy and unfulfilled desires danced behind their somber gazes, quietly echoing the unspoken whispers of longing that resonated within their noble souls. As whispers of Aditya's double engagement spread among the noble attendees, envy, jealousy, and sadness swept through their midst like a tempest. Conversations, laden with veiled emotions, echoed through the halls as nobles grappled with their unspoken desires. Lady Margaret, her voice tinged with a mix of envy and resignation, confided in a close friend, "Can you believe it? His Majesty now has 2 goddesses as his fiancées. It seems his blessings know no bounds." She sighed, her gaze drifting towards Aditya and his ethereal companions. Her friend, Lady Beatrice, nodded in agreement, her expression clouded with a hint of sadness. Indeed, it is a remarkable feat to be chosen by Aditya is an honor beyond measure. Yet, it fills my heart with a twinge of jealousy. A group of noblemen huddled together, their faces betraying a mix of envy and disbelief. One of them, Lord William, voiced his fears. His Majesty already has 2 goddesses as his fiancées. I am starting to fear that his third fiancée might also turn out to be a goddess. I hope that's not true. Lord Thomas, his eyes widening with concern, replied, I share your worries, my friend. If that were to be the case, it would be too much for our mortal hearts to bear. We would surely succumb to a heart attack. In another corner of the room, Lady Isabella, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, engaged in a conversation with her sister. To think that 2 goddesses have captured Aditya's heart, she whispered, her voice filled with longing. I had hoped it could have been me. Alas, my dreams shall remain unfulfilled. Her sister, Lady Amelia, reached out to comfort her, her own voice filled with empathy. Oh, dear sister, it is a bitter pill to swallow. But remember, there is still beauty and love to be found in our own lives. We must find solace in the joys that are within our grasp. As the conversations continued, a tapestry of envy, jealousy, and sadness unfolded among the noble figures. With bated breath, the assembled nobility awaited the next revelation from their esteemed emperor. As the words reverberated, echoing, would like to introduce my third fiancée to everyone here. She is the revered princess of the celestial terrain, Rhea Tombrook, and she holds the divine mantle of the goddess of nature. As the words reverberated, echoing through the hearts and minds of those in attendance, a collective gasp escaped the lips of the noblemen. The realization dawned upon them like a bolt of lightning, their deepest fears manifesting into reality. The emperor, their beloved Aditya, had not 1, not 2, but 3 goddesses as his future wives. It was an unprecedented revelation that shattered the boundaries of their wildest dreams, leaving them in a state of disbelief. The impact of the announcement was palpable, as some noblemen, overwhelmed by the weight of the revelation, teetered on the edge of collapse. In that critical moment, their partners swiftly moved to their aid, steadying them and averting the potential embarrassment of a public fall. The partners' quick thinking and support served as a shield, protecting their loved ones from further distress. Meanwhile, a sense of incredulity and astonishment permeated the room, as nobles exchanged hushed conversations, their words laced with a mixture of awe and unease. 3 goddesses. It's beyond comprehension, murmured Lord Arthur to his trusted advisor, his voice tinged with a blend of disbelief and admiration. To think that His Majesty possesses such divine favor. It is a testament to his unparalleled greatness. Lady Victoria, her eyes wide with astonishment, turned to her companion, Lady Catherine, and whispered, "The Emperor's affections know no bounds. He holds the hearts of 3 goddesses. It is a testament to his extraordinary charm and power." The revelation had sent shockwaves through the noble assembly, leaving them grappling with a reality that exceeded their most extravagant fantasies. The sheer magnitude of Aditya's fortune was overwhelming, testing the limits of their comprehension. And yet, amidst the tumultuous mix of emotions, the noblemen found solace in the support of their partners, who stood by their sides, providing the much-needed stability and reassurance in the face of this astounding truth. "Lord Edmund, have you heard the latest revelation, Lord Harrington? The Emperor's 3rd fiancée is none other than the Princess of the Celestial Terrain." "Lord Harrington, by the heavens! I can scarcely believe it, Lord Edmund. The pieces are falling into place now. It explains why the Celestial Terrain cautioned the outside of the dying Continents members of the Oracle Alliance not to interfere in this war." "Lord Edmund, indeed, my dear friend. It all makes sense now. The Princess of the Celestial Terrain's engagement to our Emperor holds greater significance than we could have ever imagined." Amidst the splendor of the grand banquet, a symphony of hushed whispers permeated the air, weaving through the opulent hall. Conversations swirled like clandestine currents, fueled by bitter emotions of envy and resentment. The prevailing sentiment among the noble attendees was that this grand occasion had transformed into a stage for the Emperor to flaunt his trio of radiant fiancés. The nobles, once immersed in the spirit of the festivities, now found themselves consumed by a bitter cocktail of jealousy and discontent. As they clutched their ornate goblets, the liquid within seemed to lose its luster, leaving an insipid taste upon their tongues. Each sip served as a poignant reminder of their own unfulfilled desires and the stark contrast between their own lives and the seemingly charmed existence of the Emperor and his illustrious consorts. The once favored delicacies on their plates became mere decorations, lacking the power to appease their troubled hearts. The whispers multiplied, as if amplifying the collective bitterness that pervaded the banquet hall. Concealed behind false smiles and cordial exchanges, nobles found solace in hushed conversations, seeking solace in the company of like-minded souls who shared their sentiments of longing and discontent. This grand display of his fiancées has turned this banquet into a spectacle. Lord Percival, his gaze fixed upon the Emperor and his entourage, muttered under his breath, his words laced with envy. "It is as if we are mere spectators in a theatrical production, forced to witness the Emperor's opulence and bask in the glory of his enchanting companions. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth." Lady Amelia, her eyes filled with a mixture of longing and disillusionment, confided in a sympathetic friend, her voice barely above a whisper. "Oh, how I yearn for love as splendid as the Emperor's. To witness the joy he shares with his fiancées, it leaves my heart heavy with envy and a sense of longing unfulfilled." And so, the grand banquet, intended as a celebration of opulence and camaraderie, became an arena of concealed bitterness and simmering jealousy. The collective hopes of the noble attendees clung to a single thread of expectation, praying fervently that the Emperor's last fiancée would not be revealed as yet another goddess. And lastly, Aditya's voice resonated through the hall, capturing the undivided attention of the assembled nobility. "Allow me to present my 4th fiancée, the esteemed princess of the great starry sky, Lara Murphy." A palpable sense of relief washed over the attendees as they realized that this time, the Emperor's choice did not involve the divine. Yet, their curiosity remained piqued by the mention of an empire unknown to their collective knowledge. Whispers flitted among the noble figures, their gazes filled with intrigue and a yearning for understanding. Conversations, veiled by a facade of formality, sought to decipher the origins of the great starry sky empire and its enigmatic princess. "The absence of yet another goddess brings solace to my weary heart," Lord Archibald confided to a fellow nobleman, his voice carrying an undertone of relief. "One can only endure so much astonishment in a single evening." Lady Beatrice, her eyes alight with curiosity, turned to her companion and inquired, her voice laced with restrained eagerness, "Have you ever heard of this great starry sky empire before? Its existence, though fleeting, seems to captivate the Emperor's attention." Her companion, Lord Reginald, nodded in acknowledgement, a thoughtful expression gracing his features. "Indeed, my lady, the mention of such an empire raises questions of its history and significance. It seems we are witnessing a glimpse into a forgotten era, one that beckons us to unravel its mysteries." Aditya, attuned to the inquisitive gazes and lingering curiosity, adorned his countenance with a warm smile. "For those of you who harbor curiosity about the great starry sky empire, I shall elucidate its origin. Long ago, on the Beast continent, this empire stood resolute, though it exists no longer in the present day." His words hung in the air, beckoning the assembled nobles to embark on a journey of forgotten lore and to quench their thirst for knowledge. Thus, the noble figures, momentarily relieved by the absence of another divine fiancé, found their attention redirected toward the enigma of the great starry sky empire. Their conversations, bound by the decorum befitting the occasion, revealed a collective intrigue and an eagerness to delve into the depths of a bygone era, embracing the allure of forgotten history. With the formal introductions concluded, Aditya's resonant voice filled the hall, commanding the attention of all in attendance. Now that I have presented my esteemed fiancés, let us proceed without further delay and commence this splendid event. As his words hung in the air, Watson, ever the attentive aide, swiftly retrieved a round table and an array of chairs, arranging them meticulously for the emperor and his 4 fiancés to take their seats. Aditya, the epitome of regal grace, guided his fiancés to their designated positions, a visual display of their shared bond. As they settled into their seats, the nobles in attendance followed suit, each finding their place at their respective round tables. Careful consideration had been given to the seating arrangements, reflecting the status and rank of each noble family. The positioning of the round tables was a testament to the hierarchy that governed their noble society. The tables nearest to Aditya's distinguished gathering were designated for Duke Zane and Duke Marvin, both esteemed figures who held the highest ranks within the empire. Whispers of respect and admiration permeated the room as the nobles took their seats, their postures reflecting the grandeur of the occasion. Each noble family occupied their designated round table, the placement a tangible symbol of their standing within the empire's aristocracy. As the banquet unfolded, a magnificent feast of epic proportions came to life, orchestrated by the skilled hands of countless maids. With seamless precision, they presented a plethora of delectable dishes, each a culinary masterpiece hailing from various corners of the continent. The tables, adorned with a cornucopia of gastronomic delights, became a tapestry of diverse flavors, celebrating the rich cultural tapestry of the realm. Aditya's esteemed butler, Watson, impeccably oversaw every detail, ensuring that the presentation and arrangement of the food were nothing short of perfection. His meticulousness brought forth a symphony of colors and textures, enticing the senses and kindling the appetites of the assembled nobles. The spread before them was a sight to behold, a visual feast that mirrored the opulence of the occasion. Amidst this culinary extravaganza, the air was filled with melodic strains as a group of talented singers took the stage, their voices soaring with enchanting melodies. A noble, caught in the mesmerizing ambience, couldn't help but express his admiration for both the singers and the tantalizing fare. Turning to his companion, he remarked with genuine appreciation, "Truly, these singers possess a remarkable talent. Their voices transport us to realms of beauty and emotion. And the food? Oh, the food is a feast for both the eyes and the taste buds. Watson has outdone himself, curating a culinary experience that surpasses even our loftiest expectations." His companion nodded in agreement, savoring a bite of the exquisitely prepared dish before responding, "Indeed, every morsel is a revelation, a testament to the empire's rich culinary heritage. And the singers, their voices evoke such deep emotions. This grand banquet is a true celebration of the senses." The noble leaned back in his chair, a contented smile gracing his lips, as he continued to relish the extraordinary culinary offerings and immerse himself in the enchanting melodies, fully embracing the magnificence of the occasion. While immersed in the enchanting melodies sung by the group of singers, the noble attendees reveled in the delectable feast laid out before them, accompanied by their partners. In the midst of this vibrant atmosphere, Aditya couldn't resist the urge to inquire, "Watson, why do you remain standing? Please, join us at the table." Julia, echoing his sentiment, added, "Indeed, Watson, we insist that you partake in this meal with us." The other ladies also nodded in agreement, their eyes filled with a sincere invitation. "Milady, I express my gratitude for your kind offer to dine together, but I must humbly decline," Watson responded with a polite bow. "I have already consumed a meal prior to the commencement of this event. Therefore, I implore you to relish your repast without any concern for my well-being." Julia acknowledged his response with a nod and redirected her attention back to her plate, focusing on the enjoyment of her own meal. Aditya had hoped to introduce Leo and Clara as his adoptive siblings during this grand banquet. However, this illustrious affair was exclusively designed for couples, requiring even the unattached noblemen and noblewomen to bring a partner. Thus, the introduction of his cherished siblings would have to wait for another occasion, a more suitable setting. As Aditya delved into the succulent fare, dipping a crispy piece of fried chicken into a savory sauce, Alicia playfully posed a question that momentarily caught him off guard. "Your Majesty, amongst us, who do you deem the most resplendent?" Her words lingered in the air, imbued with both curiosity and a hint of mischief. Aditya, pausing mid-bite, turned his gaze towards Alicia, a subtle flutter of nerves concealed within him. How was he to navigate such a delicate inquiry? The 4 women surrounding him possessed an unparalleled beauty, 3 of them embodying goddess-like grace, while the remaining one radiated elegance on par with her celestial counterparts. Moreover, even if he were to select one, he would inevitably dishearten the remaining 3, for even an emperor of the Eastern Empire must tread carefully, mindful of the potential consequences that his words might carry. Aditya's mind raced to find an answer that would please everyone without causing any offense. "I genuinely believe that each one of you looks absolutely stunning," Aditya finally replied, opting for a diplomatic response. It wasn't a lie, as he truly admired the beauty of Julia, Alicia, Ria, and Lara. Their exquisite dresses only accentuated their allure. "But you have to choose just one," Alicia teased, adding to the pressure. Aditya felt a bead of sweat form on his forehead, his nerves intensifying under the gaze of the girls. This is quite a predicament, Aditya thought, feeling the weight of the situation. He carefully considered his words, wanting to avoid any potential disappointment or jealousy. "It's genuinely impossible for me to single out just one of you. Each of you possesses a unique beauty that captivates me," Aditya replied, hoping his response would diffuse the tension. With that, he redirected his attention to his meal, attempting to regain composure. The girls giggled, pleased by his response, and resumed their own enjoyment of the banquet. "Your Majesty, you should try these," Ria suggested, gracefully skewering a grilled mushroom with her fork. It wasn't an ordinary mushroom but rather an emberburst mushroom she had personally collected from the forest the day before. Emberburst mushrooms, with their fiery hues, emanated a gentle warmth. They were commonly consumed in cold regions to raise body temperature. What type of mushroom is this? Aditya inquired, eyeing the grilled delicacy on his plate, curious about its origin. This is an emberburst mushroom. Taste it, and you'll understand, Riya replied, encouraging him. Aditya nodded and took a bite, savoring the mushroom's flavors as they unfolded in his mouth. The taste delighted him. Typically, this mushroom is eaten to warm the body. However, with your Crimson Dragon bloodline, food with stored heat tastes exceptionally delightful to you, Riya explained, acknowledging Aditya's unique heritage. These are for you. I hand-picked them specifically, Riya offered with a smile, presenting Aditya with the remaining 5 grilled emberburst mushrooms. These mushrooms were typically found in warm areas or near volcanoes. Thank you, Aditya expressed his gratitude, his face lighting up as he examined the additional serving of grilled emberburst mushrooms on his plate. He was genuinely thrilled by the thoughtful gesture. In the grand banquet hall, the nobles from the southern, eastern, and western regions mingled, showcasing the rich cultural diversity that existed within the kingdom. As the night unfolded, it became evident that each region had its distinct culinary traditions and dietary preferences. The nobles hailing from the southern region were known for their vibrant and spicy cuisine. Their preferred dishes often featured a harmonious blend of flavors, with a strong emphasis on herbs and spices. In their region, it was common to find dishes infused with aromatic ingredients such as chili peppers, lemongrass, and coconut milk. The southern nobles enjoyed delicacies like spicy curries, tangy sambals, and fragrant rice dishes. They relished the unique combination of spicy, sweet, and sour flavors that defined their culinary heritage. On the other side of the banquet hall, the eastern region nobles showcased their love for rice as a staple food. Rice, in various forms, dominated their culinary landscape. Their sophisticated techniques in cultivating and preparing rice led to an array of dishes that showcased its versatility. The nobles from the eastern region preferred to eat rice with the help of delicate chopsticks, displaying their mastery of this artful dining practice. They indulged in flavorful stir-fried rice dishes, aromatic sushi rolls, and comforting rice porridge. The eastern nobles celebrated the subtlety and harmony of flavors in their cuisine, valuing the art of balance and presentation. In contrast, the western region nobles had a more rustic and communal approach to dining. They embraced the concept of eating with their hands, believing it enhanced the connection between food and people. This region was known for its hearty, robust cuisine that focused on local produce and meats. The nobles of the western region delighted in feasting on roasted meats, freshly baked bread, and savory pies. Their tables were adorned with platters of succulent grilled meats, accompanied by an assortment of seasonal vegetables and artisanal cheeses. The act of tearing bread and savoring the flavors directly with their hands symbolized a sense of togetherness and appreciation for the simple pleasures of life. As the nobles engaged in conversation and shared their culinary experiences, it became evident that the diets of each region were distinct, reflecting their unique cultural backgrounds. The banquet hall transformed into a melting pot of flavors, as the southern, eastern, and western region nobles savored the diverse gastronomic offerings. It was a celebration of the kingdom's cultural tapestry, reminding everyone present of the richness and beauty found in their shared diversity. As the royal banquet stretched on for over an hour, the conversations and laughter filled the grand banquet hall. The air was alive with the exchange of ideas, pleasantries, and the clinking of glasses. The nobles from all corners of the kingdom reveled in the opportunity to connect with one another and foster new alliances. As the night drew to a close, Aditya, accompanied by Julia, Alicia, Riya, and Lara, stood at the center of the hall. The murmurs gradually subsided, signaling the attention of the gathered nobles. Aditya's voice resonated through the room as he delivered a brief closing speech, expressing his gratitude for their presence and the joyous occasion they had shared. With his fiancées by his side, Aditya led the way towards the exit, their steps accompanied by the soft rustle of regal attire. However, the banquet hall remained abuzz with activity, as the nobles, their appetite for connection whetted, began approaching one another to engage in further conversations. Viscount Aaron approached Viscountess Catherine with a warm smile. "Catherine, it's been too long since we last spoke. How has your family been faring?" Catherine returned the smile, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Aaron, it's a pleasure to see you again. My family has been well, thank you. We've recently expanded our vineyards and the grape harvest promises to be bountiful this year. And what about your estates? Any exciting developments?" Aaron's face lit up as he shared his latest endeavors. "Ah, Catherine, you won't believe it. I've been investing in a new initiative to revitalize our region's silk production. The silkworm farms have been thriving, and we're expecting a remarkable silk harvest. Our artisans are already envisioning exquisite designs for the upcoming season." Their conversation continued, both viscounts exchanging tales of their respective regions and discussing potential collaborations. Nearby, Viscountess Amelia engaged in a lively discussion with Viscount Marcus about the advancement of agricultural practices in his lands. Amelia leaned forward, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. "Marcus, I've heard rumors of your innovative irrigation techniques. Tell me more about it. I believe it could greatly benefit my estates as well." Marcus nodded, his face reflecting pride in his accomplishments. "Amelia, we've implemented a sophisticated network of canals and water distribution systems to maximize crop yield and minimize water wastage. It's been a transformative endeavor, and the harvests have been nothing short of remarkable. I'd be more than happy to share the details with you." As the afternoon wore on, the noble circle became a symphony of conversations, ideas, and aspirations. The hall buzzed with the energy of connections being formed, friendships being forged, and alliances taking shape. It was a testament to the enduring spirit of camaraderie and collaboration that defined the noble society. Meanwhile, unnoticed by most, Duke Marvin and Duke Zane quietly slipped away, their departure swift and inconspicuous. Their reasons for leaving early remained unknown, leaving the rest of the nobles to continue their mingling and establish new bonds, united by the shared vision of a prosperous kingdom. The grand banquet hall, once resounding with the melodies of celebration, now echoed with the fervor of new friendships and alliances being forged. The nobles relished this opportunity to transcend social boundaries and strengthen the fabric of their society, knowing that together they could shape a future as grand as the banquet they had just concluded. Letting out a sigh of relief, Aditya found solace in the familiarity of his dragon palace after the grand banquet. Eager to shed the confines of his royal attire, he began unfastening the buttons, grateful to be free from the discomfort. Formal clothing had never been his preference, as he favored loose and lightweight garments that allowed for unrestricted movement. Amidst the privacy of their sanctuary, the girls embraced their true selves, shedding the formalities they had maintained in the presence of the nobles. Alicia, in particular, appeared at ease, having honed her ability to navigate diverse social encounters as a seasoned businesswoman. Unlike Aditya, who felt mentally drained from the evening's affairs, Alicia seemed unaffected, her composure intact. Peeling away the delicate veil that concealed her angelic countenance, the goddess cast her gaze upon Aditya's bare upper body, her eyes momentarily captivated by his form. Turning to face her, Aditya responded with a playful smirk, reveling in the attention. Feel free to admire this physique to your heart's content. With a haughty snort, the goddess averted her gaze. Who would want to gaze upon your unsightly figure? Yet, her words belied her actions, for it was she who had been surreptitiously studying his physique, stealing glances that lingered longer than necessary. The air between them crackled with a mixture of teasing banter and unspoken tension, a testament to the complex dynamics that existed within their group. They navigated the realm of playfulness and attraction with an unspoken understanding, each harboring feelings that danced beneath the surface. In the Dragon Palace's intimate surroundings, the burden of formality dissolved, allowing for genuine interactions and unabashed moments of vulnerability. It was within these walls that their true selves were revealed, free from the constraints imposed by society's expectations. With the royal banquet behind them, Aditya and his fiancées could finally find respite in the comfort of their own skin, embracing their quirks, desires, and the unspoken connections that intertwined their destinies. Really, thank you very much to all those who sent. In the evening, Aditya, the emperor of the Eastern Empire, relished the freedom of shedding his formal attire and slipping into his preferred casual clothing. Unlike the stiff and elaborate regalia he wore during official functions, his casual ensemble exuded a sense of comfort and ease. Dressed in loose-fitting garments that allowed for unrestricted movement, Aditya's choice of attire reflected his desire for both practicality and relaxation. He donned a pair of soft, flowing pants crafted from lightweight fabric, providing ample room for his legs to move freely. The pants, adorned with intricate patterns and vibrant hues, added a touch of personality to his ensemble. On his upper body, Aditya favored loose, airy shirts made from breathable materials. These shirts, often adorned with subtle embroidery or decorative elements, were carefully selected to provide maximum comfort without compromising style. They draped effortlessly over his frame, allowing him to move with ease and grace. To complete his casual look, Aditya preferred to wear a pair of comfortable sandals or slip-on shoes, ensuring his feet experienced the same freedom as the rest of his body. These footwear choices emphasized his desire for practicality while still maintaining a touch of elegance. Aditya's casual attire exuded a sense of relaxed sophistication. His clothing allowed him to move effortlessly, unrestricted by the confines of formalism, while still reflecting his regal status. By embracing comfortable and loose-fitting garments, he found a balance between expressing his personal style and enjoying the comfort that such attire provided. It was a rare and cherished occasion for Aditya, surrounded by his four beloved fiancées, to find solace and simply unwind, unburdened by the weight of their responsibilities and worries. In this precious moment, they relished the present without dwelling on the past or the future, allowing themselves to bask in the tranquil embrace of a peaceful evening. Clasping their warm cups of tea, they sipped slowly, savoring the soothing herbal flavors that Watson had thoughtfully prepared for them. As Julia raised the cup to her lips and took a delicate sip, a sigh of relief escaped her. Lately, she had been consumed by concern, her thoughts consumed by the quest to find a cure for her ailing younger sister, Lara. The task at hand proved to be far more arduous than she had initially imagined, requiring relentless research whenever she managed to steal a moment of respite. Julia's heart ached with the fervent desire to grant Lara a chance to embrace a life free from suffering, and her determination knew no bounds. Caught in a moment of contemplation, Aditya, leaning comfortably against the sturdy tree trunk, gently caressed Lara's head as she slumbered peacefully on his lap. Her illness demanded frequent rest, and after the grand banquet, exhaustion weighed heavily upon her, pulling her into the blissful embrace of sleep. Curiosity flickered in Aditya's eyes as he directed his question to Julia, seeking a glimpse into the thoughts that swirled within her mind. "What occupies your thoughts, my love?" he inquired, his voice tender and filled with genuine concern. Julia, her gaze fixed on Aditya, offered a soft smile, her mind momentarily untethered from the burdens of the world. "I am not entangled in any specific thoughts," she replied, her words laced with tranquility. "In this fleeting moment, I find solace in simply existing, embracing the serenity that surrounds us." Seated in a gentle semicircle around Aditya, the three remaining fiancées formed a delicate tableau. Julia, positioned at the center, faced Aditya directly, while Ria and Alicia occupied their respective places on her right and left, completing the circle of affection and devotion. Alicia's mind briefly wandered, silently acknowledging the capable individual she had entrusted with her responsibilities during her absence. Yesterday, she had forsaken her duties to spend the entire day at Aditya's side, and today had been consumed by the preparations for the grand banquet since the early hours of the morning. Surprisingly, a rare sensation had stirred within her, the inclination to detach herself from her usual workaholic tendencies. The novelty of this newfound desire to simply revel in the company of her cherished sisters and the man they all loved washed over her. On this tranquil evening, Alicia yearned to immerse herself fully in the passing hours, embracing the bliss of togetherness. In the gentle embrace of nature's grandeur, they remained a tableau of affection and peace, cherishing each other's presence as the sun began its slow descent, casting a golden glow upon their tranquil sanctuary. With a gentle sigh, Ria nestled her head against Aditya's left shoulder, her eyes fluttering closed in tranquil surrender. The rhythmic cadence of his heartbeat, a comforting lullaby, washed over her, infusing her spirit with an undeniable sense of ease. As the embodiment of nature's divine grace, Ria found herself unburdened by the weight of worries, basking in the vast expanse of free time that unfolded before her like a serene meadow. It was a luxury she cherished, offering her the freedom to explore the boundless wonders of the world around her. Yet, amidst the tranquil tapestry of her existence, there remained a sole concern that tugged at Ria's thoughts, an incessant source of annoyance that tempered her untroubled serenity. It was her mother, a persistent presence in her life, ceaselessly urging her return to the familial abode. Though Ria revered the maternal bond and held a deep love for her mother, the constant nagging proved to be a persistent thorn in her side, disrupting the harmony she sought in her tranquil sojourns. But in this fleeting moment, as Ria allowed herself to be enveloped by Aditya's presence, all thoughts of her mother's persistent entreaties faded into the background. The gentle rhythm of his heartbeat formed a melodic backdrop, eclipsing the persistent demands that threatened to fray the edges of her peace. Here, in the sanctuary of their embrace, Ria found solace, savoring the respite from the incessant pull of familial obligations. In the gentle reprieve of this evening, Ria surrendered herself fully to the tranquil symphony of nature, lulled by the harmonious melodies that intertwined with the whispered caresses of the breeze. As her body relaxed against Aditya's steady frame, a serene smile graced her lips, painting a portrait of contentment. In this ephemeral embrace, the weight of the world seemed to dissolve, leaving only the ethereal connection between two souls, entwined in a tapestry of love and peace. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow upon the tranquil garden where Aditya, Alicia, and Julia had gathered for a leisurely conversation. They found themselves seated under the grand oak tree, its sprawling branches providing a canopy of shade. With the strains of melodious birdsong in the background and the gentle rustling of leaves, the setting was perfect for a light-hearted exchange. Aditya, ever the jovial soul, leaned back on the grass with a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. "All right, ladies, it's time for some serious discussions," he declared, earning a quizzical look from Alicia and an amused smile from Julia. "Oh, and what topic shall we tackle today, Your Majesty?" Alicia teased, raising an eyebrow in playful anticipation. Aditya stroked his chin dramatically, as if contemplating the gravest matter in the realm. "Today, my esteemed colleagues, we shall delve into the enigmatic world of socks," he announced with mock seriousness. "Socks?" Julia burst into laughter, her melodious giggle echoing through the garden. "Aditya, are you seriously going to discuss socks?" "Why not?" he chuckled. "Socks are the unsung heroes of our wardrobes. They keep our feet cozy and protected, tirelessly supporting us as we conquer the day." Alicia couldn't help but join in the laughter. "I never thought I'd see the day when socks became a topic of royal discussion." "Oh, but my dear Alicia," Aditya replied with a grin, "you underestimate the gravity of this matter. Socks have the power to make or break a day. Picture this, you're all dressed up, ready to seize the day's challenges, and then, horror strikes, you realize you're wearing mismatched socks." Julia playfully gasped, a hand covering her mouth in mock astonishment. "The horror indeed." Aditya nodded solemnly. "Indeed, a catastrophe of unparalleled proportions. But fear not, for I have devised a solution." Alicia leaned forward, intrigued. "Pray tell, Your Majesty, what is this ingenious solution?" With a flourish, Aditya revealed a basket filled with an assortment of brightly colored socks. "The Royal Sock Library," he proclaimed, unable to contain his laughter any longer. Alicia and Julia erupted into peals of laughter, charmed by Aditya's infectious humor. They playfully reached into the basket, examining the socks as if they were the most precious treasures in the kingdom. "And how does the Royal Sock Library work?" Alicia inquired, playing along with the jest. "Why, whenever you find yourself with mismatched socks," Aditya explained with mock seriousness, "you simply visit the Royal Sock Library and find the perfect pair to restore harmony to your ensemble." The three of them dissolved into laughter, reveling in the simple joy of each other's company and the delightful banter that bound them together. In this enchanting moment, beneath the embracing branches of the oak tree, time seemed to stand still, and the world's worries melted away in the warmth of their laughter. For in the heart of friendship and laughter, life's burdens became lighter, and the soul found solace in the company of kindred spirits. As the sun gradually dipped below the horizon, casting vibrant hues of orange and pink across the sky, Aditya, Alicia, Julia, and Ria found themselves engrossed in a lively conversation under the comforting shade of the grand oak tree. Their laughter filled the air, blending harmoniously with the rustling leaves and the distant chirping of birds. Aditya, the charismatic center of their little gathering, effortlessly included Ria in their banter. With his magnetic personality and infectious sense of humor, he had a way of making everyone feel at ease and welcomed into the circle of mirth. The group shared funny anecdotes, exchanged jokes, and regaled one another with amusing stories that tickled their collective funny bones. They laughed until their eyes crinkled and their stomachs ached, each joyful sound echoing through the tranquil garden. Aditya, in particular, took delight in weaving hilarious tales, his expressive gestures and animated expressions adding an extra layer of hilarity to his words. His fiancées, Alicia, Julia, and Ria, hung onto his every word, their laughter intertwining in a symphony of joy. As the sky transitioned from brilliant oranges to dusky purples, the fading light reluctantly signaled the end of their light-hearted gathering. Reluctantly, they rose from their comfortable spots beneath the oak tree, their spirits still soaring from the camaraderie they had shared. Everyone made their way back to their respective rooms, their hearts light and their souls nourished by the bonds they had forged. However, the day was not yet over for Aditya. As he stepped into his private chambers, a glimmer of excitement sparkled in his eyes. It was during these precious moments of solitude that his creativity truly flourished. With a renewed vigor coursing through his veins, he approached his work desk, adorned with scrolls, quills, and fragments of unfinished artifacts. Tonight, Aditya's attention was captivated by a new artifact-making project that had been brewing in his mind. His hands moved with purpose and precision as he meticulously sketched the design, allowing his imagination to guide the strokes of his quill. Time seemed to lose its grip as Aditya delved deeper into his work. He carefully selected materials, blending vibrant gemstones with delicate metals. His focus was unwavering, his passion igniting with every stroke of his tools. The soft glow of candlelight danced upon the contours of his face, casting intricate shadows that mirrored the intricate patterns he was etching into the artifact. The night embraced him, cocooning him in its velvety embrace, as he poured his heart and soul into the creation before him. Hours melded into moments, and Aditya found himself immersed in a realm where time ceased to exist. The walls of his chamber whispered stories of the devotion and dedication that he put into creating this artifact. Aditya was working on making a crescent-shaped pendant for himself. Aditya's mysterious crescent-shaped pendant, infused with ancient enchantments, radiated an aura of otherworldly power. The runic inscriptions embedded within the artifact bestowed it with 4 unique enchantments, each designed to aid Aditya without veering into the realm of overpowering abilities. The pendant has been made from draconium. Draconium was a metal forged from the scales or bones of dragons, known for its heat resistance and affinity for fire-based enchantments. Aditya found this metal when he destroyed the Dragon Slayer Guild. This metal was perfect for the Twilight Embrace. After hours of hard work, he was finally done. He held the Twilight Embrace in his hands and stared at its description. Name, Twilight Embrace. Rank Peak 4-star Pendant. Description, the Twilight Embrace. History, in the Empire of Eldoria, there exists a legendary pendant known as the Twilight Embrace. This exquisite artifact was crafted centuries ago by the renowned elven artisan, Alicia Starweaver, who was renowned for her mastery of enchantments and intricate jewelry. The pendant was originally created as a symbol of harmony and balance, representing the delicate equilibrium between light and darkness in the world. Alicia poured her heart and soul into the pendant, infusing it with the essence of twilight itself, a shimmering blend of dusk and dawn. For many years, the Twilight Embrace remained a cherished heirloom, passed down through generations of the Starweaver family. It became a symbol of wisdom, protection, and unity among the elven people. Stories were told of its ability to enhance one's magical abilities and provide guidance in times of uncertainty. However, as time wore on, a great conflict erupted in Eldoria, plunging the land into chaos. During the chaos, the Twilight Embrace was caught in the crossfire of a fierce battle between rival factions. The pendant suffered severe damage, its delicate enchantments shattered and its once glowing gemstone cracked. Though the exact age of the Twilight Embrace is uncertain, it is believed to be over 1,000 years old, with the damage inflicted upon it occurring several centuries ago. The pendant now carries the scars of its past, a testament to the trials and tribulations faced by the elven people. Despite its damaged state, the Twilight Embrace still retains a glimmer of its former power. Legends whisper that those who carry the pendant can still tap into its residual magic, though its abilities are diminished compared to its original form. Today, the Twilight Embrace is a relic of history, a symbol of resilience and the enduring spirit of the elven lineage. It is carefully preserved within the Starweaver family vault, a reminder of the sacrifices made and the strength found in the face of adversity. The elven elders ensure that the pendant story is passed down, keeping alive the memory of Alicia Starweaver and the legacy of the Twilight Embrace for generations to come. Function 1, Emberstorm. Emberstorm is an enchantment that harnesses the elemental power of fire to create a swirling vortex of fiery embers. When activated, the enchantment forms a visible aura of dancing flames around the wielder or the object it is imbued upon. Emberstorm is a captivating enchantment that combines both offensive and defensive aspects, harnessing the fierce power of fire to create a mesmerizing display of swirling embers. It grants the wielder a versatile tool for combat, as well as a deterrent against adversaries who would dare to approach the blazing inferno it creates. Offensive capabilities. Emberstorm provides potent offensive capabilities. The swirling embers can be launched as projectiles toward enemies, striking them with searing heat and causing burn damage upon impact. The intensity and velocity of the projectiles can be controlled by the wielder, allowing for precise and targeted attacks. Defensive shield. The swirling vortex of embers also functions as a defensive shield, providing protection against incoming attacks. The flames act as a barrier, deflecting or neutralizing projectiles, and absorbing the energy of magical spells or elemental attacks. It offers a temporary layer of defense, buying the wielder time to plan their next move. Area denial. The Emberstorm enchantment creates a danger zone around the wielder, making it difficult for enemies to approach. The intense heat emitted by the swirling embers acts as a deterrent, forcing foes to keep their distance. Stepping into the range of the Emberstorm can result in immediate burns or ignite flammable objects in the vicinity. Duration and activation. The Emberstorm enchantment typically has a limited duration, as it requires a significant amount of mana to sustain the swirling vortex of embers. It can be activated by a command word, gesture, or a specific trigger. Enhanced fire manipulation. Emberstorm grants the wielder increased control over fire-related abilities. It amplifies existing fire-based spells or allows the wielder to manipulate flames with greater precision and finesse. This additional fire manipulation can further enhance the offensive and defensive capabilities of the wielder. As Aditya perused the description of the artifact, he couldn't help but feel that it might not hold much utility for him personally. After all, he possessed the ability to achieve similar effects using his crimson flames. However, he pondered the potential advantages it could offer to a mage with a strong affinity for fire on the battlefield. The thought of a mage with exceptional fire skills immediately brought Alicia to Aditya's mind. She was a fire mage through and through, specializing in unleashing devastating fire-type attacks. It seemed fitting to bestow this artifact upon her, as it aligned perfectly with her talents. Aditya had crafted the artifact with the primary purpose of exploring the possibilities of the draconium metal he had acquired from the Dragon Slayer Guild. Just as Aditya wrapped up his work, Julia, clad in her comfortable pajamas, approached him from behind. While he had been engrossed in his tasks, she had been pampering herself with a relaxing full-body massage courtesy of her personal maids. With a gentle smile, Aditya replied, "Yes, I'm finished." He stood up, stretching his limbs and glanced appreciatively at Julia. She looked absolutely stunning in her delicate pajamas, the fabric softly draping over her alluring curves. His gaze lingered, igniting a subtle warmth within him. Julia, being the caring and considerate wife that she was, suggested, "Before retiring for the night, you should take a quick shower." Her words conveyed her affectionate concern. However, before Julia could fully register what was happening, Aditya had enveloped her in his arms. "No need to shower just yet," he murmured mischievously, "since we're going to do that anyway. We can enjoy a shower together afterward." His words caused a gentle blush to grace Julia's cheeks, a telltale sign of her delight. "Pervert," Julia playfully admonished him in a hushed tone, relishing the subtle spark of excitement his words ignited within her. Deep down, she cherished those intimate moments they shared and eagerly looked forward to each and every one of them. Guiding her back to the comfort of their bedroom, the Emperor playfully tossed Julia onto the plush bed. The night held the promise of endless possibilities for the young couple. With an insatiable appetite, they engaged in their passionate endeavors, their bodies intertwining for a remarkable 3.5 hours without pausing. Aditya, being a dragon, possessed a stamina seemingly boundless when it came to such activities. Once ignited, his desires burned fiercely, making it challenging for him to find contentment. Though he would never utter the words aloud, Julia alone couldn't fully satisfy his appetite. Often, after hours of intimacy, his beloved wife would grow weary, seeking solace in his comforting embrace as slumber claimed her. In those moments, Aditya would dutifully tend to their needs, cleansing their bodies and refreshing the bed sheets and pillows. The palace servants had grown accustomed to the routine of laundering the linens almost every single day, well aware of the fervent love shared between their emperor and empress. Gazing at Julia's serene countenance, Aditya's lips curled into a wistful smile. Lately, this particular predicament had become increasingly vexing. Sleep eluded him unless he could find a way to alleviate his current state of arousal. Even being a dragon comes with its drawbacks, he mused, his thoughts filled with both amusement and frustration. Seeking solace in the cool night air, he made his way to the balcony, yearning to find respite and tranquility. After approximately 10 minutes had passed, a semblance of calm washed over him. Donning a freshly laundered set of comfortable pajamas, Aditya swiftly teleported to Alicia's bedroom. The goddess of fire slumbered peacefully, her features radiating serenity. Unable to resist the urge, Aditya leaned in and pressed a tender kiss upon her forehead, an affectionate gesture that spoke volumes of his fondness for her. Placing the twilight embrace delicately on the nearby tea table, he left a note beside it, bearing the words, "This is a gift. Keep it close always." He omitted his name from the message, as it seemed unnecessary. Alicia, being the sharp and perceptive soul she was, would instantly recognize the source of this precious offering. Within the vast expanse of the Dragon Palace, there existed only one individual capable of traversing its corridors with seamless teleportation, and that person was none other than Aditya himself. Furthermore, he alone possessed the extraordinary skill of crafting such exquisite artifacts, rendering his identity unmistakable. As the night fell upon them, Captain Amber and her army, belonging to the 5th Division, halted their journey in a city called Serenesta. It had been 2 days since the Eastern Empire and its allies gathered to engage in a crucial meeting with the Oracle Alliance. The purpose of the meeting was to negotiate a peace treaty and discuss the compensations that the surrendering party would be required to provide to the Eastern Empire and its allies, now known as the Triumvirate Alliance. The outcome of the meeting took an unexpected turn, leading to the demise of the Echo Nexus Emperor and several other emperors from the Oracle Alliance. Ultimately, a decision was reached to divide the territories of the Echo Nexus Empire, the Queenstown Empire, the Uzakan Empire, the Mythia Empire, the Kaisha Empire, and the Mystic Spring Empire among the 3 allied powers. Within a span of 2 hours, aided by artists, cartographers, and the presence of the 3 allies, a new map of the northwestern region was meticulously crafted. The Mythia Empire and its territories were assigned to the Hephaestus Kingdom, while the Echo Dominion Empire claimed the Kaisha Empire and the Mystic Spring Empire as its own. The Echo Nexus Empire was partitioned into 3 sections, with the Echo Dominion Empire taking control of 2 eastern parts. The Queenstown Empire, the Uzakan Empire, Obi Island, and the western coastal territories of the Echo Nexus Empire were rightfully handed over to the Eastern Empire, officially becoming part of their dominion. Naturally, not everyone was content with this arrangement. After all, the members of the Oracle Alliance had already surrendered and attended the meeting in good faith to discuss a peace treaty. The news of their emperor's deaths during the gathering gave rise to suspicion among the people of the Echo Nexus Empire, the Queenstown Empire, the Uzakan Empire, the Mythia Empire, the Kaisha Empire, and the Mystic Spring Empire. They began to believe that the Triumvirate Alliance had orchestrated the demise of their rulers as a deliberate act, eliminating them under the guise of a peace treaty. Of course, Lucas's account of transforming into a monstrous hybrid and single-handedly slaying all the emperors was met with disbelief. Consequently, the families, nobles, and military personnel of the aforementioned empires chose to rise against the Triumvirate Alliance, rebelling in defiance. The nobles joined the rebellion to safeguard their current political influence and territorial possessions, while the military fought to preserve its authority, recognizing that it would lose its power under the new empire's rule. As for the royal family, they were determined not to forfeit their esteemed status, wealth, authority, and the glory associated with their lineage. However, there were also those who comprehended the futility of opposing the Triumvirate Alliance and decided to seize whatever they could and escape from the northwestern region, seeking refuge on another continent. After the completion of the new map, multiple copies were disseminated to the general public and the military. At that time, the Eastern Empire boasted a considerable force of over 2 million troops spread throughout the northwestern region. The emperor promptly dispatched the updated map to his generals and issued them a commanding order: proceed to their newly assigned territories and establish firm control. In the face of any resistance or rebellion encountered, Aditya, with an unwavering and chilling resolve, commanded his generals to eliminate anyone who dared oppose or challenge the might of the Eastern Empire. In accordance with the emperor's directives, General Amber led her troops towards the west. Their ultimate destination lay in the western coastal region, formerly part of the Echo Nexus Empire but now under the dominion of the Eastern Empire. Of course, the journey was no small undertaking, it stretched across vast distances. Commencing their march from the Glitto mountain range, they had to traverse the eastern reaches of the northwestern region to reach its westernmost edge. With a formidable force of 500,000 soldiers under her command, Amber pushed forward with relentless determination, striving to cover as much ground as possible. After an arduous and uninterrupted 48-hour journey, Amber and her troops finally arrived at the border of the Eastern Empire, which now encompassed the western coastal region previously belonging to the Echo Nexus Empire. Serenesta, a modest city situated along the newly formed border of the Eastern Empire, lay in close proximity to the Echo Dominion Empire's boundaries. Moreover, Serenesta was a petite city with a population of less than 100,000, encompassing several farming villages. Its primary exports revolved around rice and wheat crops. In the quaint streets of Serenesta City, a sense of unease hung thick in the air as the news of the Eastern Empire's takeover spread like wildfire among the citizens. The people huddled together in small groups, whispering anxious thoughts to each other, their faces etched with worry and uncertainty. Among the crowd, there was Emma, a young and curious villager, Thomas, an elderly farmer with a heart of gold, and Sarah, a skeptical and outspoken shopkeeper. Emma, tugging nervously at her shawl, turned to Thomas and asked, "Do you think the Eastern troops will be cruel to us, Thomas? Our previous emperor always made us believe they were kind and caring." Thomas, with a gentle smile, patted Emma's shoulder reassuringly. Now, young one. We can't be too quick to judge. Let's hope they prove to be benevolent rulers." Sarah, who had overheard their conversation, couldn't contain her skepticism. Benevolent rulers? Ha! I highly doubt that. They come barging in, taking over our city, and expect us to believe they mean no harm? But what if they misunderstand us, just like we misunderstand them? Emma suggested, trying to see the situation from both perspectives. It's hard to believe anything good about them after what we've heard, Sarah retorted, crossing her arms. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the fear of the unknown clung to the hearts of Serenesta's inhabitants. The distant marching of the Eastern troops approaching the city sent shivers down their spines. Just then, Captain Amber, leading the Eastern troops, rode into the city on her majestic steed. The people couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and resentment as they gazed at the imposing figures. Emma whispered to Thomas, "Look, it's the Eastern troops. They seem so stern and formidable." Thomas replied, "Appearances can be deceiving, young one. Let us hope they are here to bring stability and peace, not tyranny." Captain Amber noticed the wary looks from the townsfolk and understood their apprehension. She dismounted her horse and approached a group of villagers with a warm smile. "Good people of Serenesta, fear not. We do not seek to harm you. Our goal is to ensure peace and order in these lands." Sarah couldn't help but voice her concerns, "But what about our previous emperor? He always told us that the Eastern Empire was cruel." Amber nodded empathetically, understanding the impact of the former emperor's manipulation. Manipulation. I can understand your doubts, but let us prove through our actions that we are not what you've been led to believe. As the Eastern troops settled outside Serenesta, they made an effort to interact with the citizens, helping with tasks and offering assistance. Slowly, the misconceptions began to dissipate, replaced by cautious optimism. In time, through dialogue and understanding, the people of Serenesta City came to realize that not all they believed about the Eastern Empire was true. In the heart of Serenesta City, a sense of unease filled the air as news spread about the Eastern Empire taking control. Captain Amber, a strong and determined leader, understood the challenge ahead. She had learned that the previous emperor, Lucas, had filled the minds of his people with false tales of kindness and care. Now, as the Eastern Empire stepped in, the citizens were displeased and mistakenly believed them to be cruel and unyielding. Amber knew it would take time to change their perception. While her troops rested, Amber engaged in conversations with the people, listening. The journey to change minds would not be easy. After a few grueling hours of engaging with the townsfolk, Captain Amber wearily returned to her tent. Amidst her weariness, Amber discovered a disheartening truth. The city lord, entrusted with the governance of this city, had fled, leaving behind a wake of chaos and despair. Greedily, he absconded with all the wealth he could carry, leaving behind an empty palace and a populace stricken with panic. A heavy sigh escaped Amber's lips as she contemplated the gravity of the situation. It was far more chaotic and disordered than she had initially anticipated. If the same lamentable scenario were to unfold in every new city they encountered, it would undoubtedly become a colossal headache for the empire. Determined to convey the severity of the matter to Emperor Aditya, Amber resolved to compose a detailed letter, laying out the dire circumstances that had befallen Serenesta city. She understood the importance of keeping the emperor well informed, particularly in light of the challenges that lay ahead. With a heavy heart, she recognized that the current force of 2 million troops might prove insufficient in the face of such widespread disorder. The situation necessitated a reinforcement of their military presence. Amber retrieved a pen and parchment, her mind focused on articulating the urgency of the matter. She meticulously described the events that had transpired, emphasizing the city lord's treacherous abandonment and the subsequent disarray that had engulfed the city. With each stroke of the pen, Amber poured her concerns onto the page, ensuring every detail was expressed with clarity and conviction. She knew the weight her words carried and their potential impact on the course of action that the empire would take. As the ink dried on the paper, Amber sealed the letter, resolving to dispatch it with haste. She understood the urgency of the situation and the crucial role that Emperor Aditya would play in resolving the mounting crisis. The challenges that lay ahead were daunting, but Amber's determination remained unyielding. She knew that the empire needed to act swiftly and decisively. The fate of not only Serenesta city but also the success of their entire mission rested on their ability to rally the necessary support and resources. With a resolute mindset, Amber prepared to send her missive, hopeful that the gravity of the situation would be realized and that the empire would provide the reinforcements needed to restore order and stability to the beleaguered city and its inhabitants. Amidst the dimly lit interior of her tent, Captain Amber found herself immersed in the task of changing her clothes. The canvas walls offered a semblance of privacy, shielding her from prying eyes. Ella, her trusted vice-captain, entered the tent without hesitation, her presence greeted with ease and familiarity. "Milady, I have prepared your dinner." Amber paused her task, turning her attention towards Ella. The weariness in her eyes was unmistakable, mirroring the fatigue that had settled within her. She sighed, her voice laced with a tinge of resignation. "Ella, I am not in the mood to have dinner. Do we have any wine in stock?" Ella offered a small, apologetic smile, understanding the solace that a glass of wine could provide. "Unfortunately, milady, there isn't any wine remaining in our supplies. However, if you wish, I can send someone to the nearby city to procure a bottle for you." Amber nodded appreciatively, grateful for Ella's willingness to accommodate her request. As Ella departed to make the necessary arrangements, Amber found herself left alone in the tent. With her clothing changed into a simple white loose t-shirt, Amber sank onto the camp bed. Amber's hopes rested on the letter she had composed and dispatched to Emperor Aditya. As she waited for Ella's return with the wine, Amber couldn't help but wonder about the future that awaited them. In the midst of these thoughts, Amber's mind wandered, anticipating the comforting embrace of the wine and the respite it might provide. Moments later, Ella returned to the tent, a bottle of wine cradled carefully in her hands. Amber's gaze fixated on the unusual fruits, curiosity etching lines upon her brow. She extended a finger, pointing towards the bowl, and inquired, "What is that?" Ella's eyes sparkled with a hint of mischief as she revealed her secret endeavor. "I took the liberty of sending someone to the Pink Lake in the Kaisha Empire, now Echo Dominion Empire, to procure these fruits, milady." Amber's interest was piqued as Ella's words resonated in her mind. The allure of these magical fruits lay in their ability to grant the consumer a glimpse into their future soulmate through vivid dreams. The whispering blossoms bore an ethereal beauty, their outer appearance akin to a delicate dance between hues of pink and purple. Amber's anticipation grew, her mind abuzz with wonder and anticipation. Amber's astonishment at Ella's secret endeavor lingered in the air, mingling with a tinge of regret. "Milady, I yearn to surprise you, Ella." The weight of curiosity and anticipation hung in the air, their presence almost palpable. "Are you absolutely certain that these whispering blossoms harbor no adverse effects?" Ella's response came swift and reassuring, her eyes radiating confidence. "Please rest assured, milady. These magical fruits are not only safe for consumption but intended for such purposes." With Ella's affirmation echoing in her mind, Amber found solace and trust in her vice-captain's words. She placed her faith in the whispering blossom cradled within her palm, its alluring fragrance permeating the air around her. Bringing the fruit closer to her lips, Amber hesitated for but a moment, her heart fluttering with a mix of anticipation and a tinge of apprehension. Amber's eyes widened with awe as she savored the luscious fruit, her taste buds enthralled by the extraordinary experience unfolding within her mouth. The succulent juices cascaded, leaving a trail of tantalizing bliss in their wake. A smile tugged at the corners of her lips, for in that single bite, she felt an undeniable connection to something greater, a tantalizing glimpse into the depths of her soul and the mysteries that awaited her in the realm of dreams. As Amber savored the delectable whispering blossom, its taste enveloped her senses, rendering her momentarily speechless. The sheer perfection of its flavor was beyond words, surpassing any fruit she had ever tasted. A symphony of sweetness and tang danced upon her tongue, caressing her taste buds with each luscious bite. The fruit's essence seemed to awaken a dormant vitality within her, causing her foxtails to quiver with unbridled delight and her yellow fox ear to twitch with anticipation. Ella observed the transformative effect of the magical fruit on her lady's countenance, her own curiosity piqued. The sight of Amber's joyous expression, accompanied by the rhythmic movements of her foxtails, stirred a longing within Ella. She yearned to experience the enigmatic flavors that had brought such elation to Amber's senses. Unable to resist any longer, Ella took her own bite, her teeth breaking through the delicate skin of the whispering blossom. As the juices flooded her mouth, a burst of celestial sweetness engulfed her senses. The taste was a revelation, a symphony of flavors that danced across her palate. Ella's eyes widened with astonishment and delight as the fruit revealed its intricate layers of flavor, a perfect balance of nectarous succulence and a hint of tangy brightness. It was a taste that transcended the boundaries of her previous culinary encounters, leaving an indelible impression upon her taste buds. A sense of euphoria washed over Ella, mirroring the radiance that emanated from her lady. She marveled at the magical fruit's ability to evoke such sheer bliss with each mouthful. Ella's lips curled into a contented smile, her heart brimming with gratitude for the serendipitous discovery that had gifted them with this extraordinary experience. Together, Amber and Ella relished the whispers of destiny and the enchantment of the whispering blossoms, their taste buds entwined in a shared journey of revelation and anticipation. The velvety sweetness lingered on their tongues, forging a bond between them, as they embraced the mysteries that awaited them, both in their waking hours and within the realm of dreams. As the last morsels of the tantalizing whispering blossoms disappeared, a sense of longing filled the air, mingling with the remnants of their heavenly taste. Amber and Ella exchanged a wistful glance, their desire to indulge in more of the magical fruit left unfulfilled. A sigh escaped their lips, carrying with it a tinge of melancholy that mirrored their depleted supply. A wave of drowsiness washed over them, their bodies surrendering to the gentle lull of weariness. A yawn escaped Ella's mouth, her hand instinctively rising to cover it. Amber, too, nodded in agreement, their bodies yearning for rest and rejuvenation after the day's tumultuous events. With the allure of wine fading into insignificance, Amber's once enticing plan dissolved into the realm of forgotten desires. Instead, she sought solace in the comforting embrace of her bed, its softness a welcome respite against the strains of her responsibilities. Drawing her favorite pink blanket close around her, Amber nestled herself within its gentle warmth, finding solace in its familiar embrace. Ella, her eyelids heavy with the weight of exhaustion, bid her lady a hushed good night. The weariness in her voice was palpable as she succumbed to the pull of sleep, her footsteps carrying her back to the sanctuary of her own tent. "Good night, Ella," Amber murmured softly, her voice carrying a sense of warmth and gratitude. The words lingered in the air, a whispered farewell between two souls intertwined in shared experiences and unwavering devotion. In the tranquil silence that enveloped them, Amber and Ella surrendered to the embrace of slumber, their minds finally finding respite from the burdens that weighed upon them. Within minutes, their breathing deepened, their bodies relaxing into a profound and undisturbed sleep. Their dreams awaited them, adorned with the mysteries of the whispering blossoms and the ethereal promises of what the future may hold. Really, thank you very much to all those who sent. Amber found herself submerged in the depths of a dream, a surreal world that defied the boundaries of logic. The ethereal surroundings enveloped her, as if she had stepped into a realm woven from pure fantasy. She stood amidst a breathtaking venue adorned with grandeur and opulence, a majestic cathedral, its high vaulted ceilings adorned with cascading tapestries and intricate stained glass windows. Soft rays of sunlight filtered through the kaleidoscope of colors, casting a vibrant glow upon the scene. The air was thick with anticipation, as Amber's gaze swept across the expanse of the grand hall. There, she stood among a gathering of women, each adorned in resplendent bride's dresses, their eyes filled with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. The atmosphere crackled with an inexplicable energy, hinting at the profound significance of this moment. As Amber's eyes settled on the man who captivated the attention of all, her heart skipped a beat. He stood at the center of the aisle, his commanding presence emanating an air of charisma and authority. A regal aura surrounded him, accentuated by his immaculate attire. His features, chiseled and alluring, seemed almost too perfect to be real. Step by step, the man approached Amber, the distance between them diminishing with each measured stride. His face, initially obscured by a veil of mystique, gradually emerged from the depths of her subconscious. Amber's breath caught in her throat, her eyes widening in profound shock as recognition coursed through her veins. For the man who stood before her, extending words of praise and admiration, was none other than Emperor Aditya himself. A rush of emotions surged within Amber, bewilderment, fascination, and a sense of longing that defied explanation. Her mind grappled with the conflicting sensations that swirled within her, while her heart yearned for answers to the enigma that unfolded before her eyes. The words that spilled from Aditya's lips resonated with both tenderness and familiarity, his voice a soothing melody that echoed through the cathedral. "You look so beautiful today," he uttered, his gaze filled with a depth of emotion that mirrored Amber's own turmoil. The other women surrounding them, though present, faded into insignificance as their connection forged a singular bond between them. Amber's lips parted, but words eluded her. She remained in a state of awe and disbelief, her mind struggling to reconcile the dreamlike scenario with the reality she knew. Her eyes, locked with Aditya's, sought answers, yet the secrets hidden within her subconscious remained shrouded in mystery. In this surreal wedding tableau, Amber felt a cascade of conflicting emotions. Curiosity intertwined with uncertainty, as she yearned to unravel the threads that connected her to Aditya in this alternate reality. The sheer familiarity that emanated from their interaction was tantalizing yet perplexing, leaving her with more questions than answers. As the dream wove its intricate tapestry, Amber's surroundings seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly luminescence. The cathedral's grandeur mirrored the grandeur of the empire itself, every detail meticulously crafted to evoke a sense of awe and reverence. Ornate pillars stretched towards the heavens, adorned with delicate carvings that depicted tales of love and devotion. Yet, amidst the splendor of the venue, Amber's focus remained firmly fixed upon Aditya, the enigmatic man who held her dreams captive and stirred her soul. In the midst of this surreal setting, their connection grew stronger, the allure of their shared destiny tugging at the border of Amber's waking consciousness, beckoning her to delve deeper into the mysteries that lay hidden within her own heart. As the morning light spilled through the window, casting a soft glow upon the room, Amber's eyes fluttered open. This dream is nothing more than fanciful nonsense, Amber admonished herself, her voice laced with determination. She raised her hand and delivered a gentle but resolute slap to her cheeks, as if physically shaking off the remnants of her wayward thoughts. Aditya, after all, already had 4 beautiful women as his fiancées. Why would he take an interest in someone like her? Shaking off her lingering reverie, Amber rose from her bed and reached for a towel, intent on washing away the remnants of sleep from her face. Morning had arrived, signaling a flurry of activity as the troops prepared their meals and readied themselves for the day ahead. Leaving her quarters, Amber strolled purposefully towards the water source, her footsteps marking the passage of a determined leader. Curiosity piqued, Amber approached the scene, her gaze scanning the exchange between the villagers and the soldiers. The earnest expressions etched on their faces hinted at the significance of their interaction. It was then that she noticed the farmers, their weathered hands and sun-kissed skin testament to a life of hard work. Eager to lend her ear to their conversation, Amber quietly stood on the outskirts of the group, catching snippets of dialogue. The farmers spoke of their gratitude towards the soldiers, recounting tales of protection and security that the troops had brought to their otherwise humble villages. The soldiers, in turn, expressed their appreciation for the unwavering support and sustenance provided by the farmers. As the conversation flowed, one of the farmers, a grizzled man with a straw hat, stepped forward, clutching a bundle of freshly harvested vegetables in his calloused hands. He approached a soldier, his voice laced with humility and gratitude. "Sir, we brought these vegetables from our humble fields as a token of our gratitude. Please accept them and share them with your comrades." The soldier, a young man with a sturdy build and a kind smile, accepted the offering with a nod of gratitude. "Thank you, kind sir. Your generosity is truly heartwarming. We appreciate your gesture, and rest assured, these vegetables will nourish us as we continue to serve and protect your villages." Amber's gaze shifted to another soldier, a woman with determination etched into her features, as she stepped forward to receive a basket overflowing with ripe fruits from a middle-aged farmer. "Ma'am, please accept these fruits as a token of our appreciation. Your presence here brings us hope and security, and we wish to express our gratitude." The soldier's eyes sparkled with genuine appreciation as she cradled the basket in her arms. "Thank you, good sir. These fruits will provide much-needed nourishment to my comrades and me. Your support means the world to us, and we will continue to strive to protect and serve your villages with unwavering dedication." A sense of camaraderie and mutual respect permeated the air as the soldiers and farmers exchanged heartfelt expressions of gratitude. It was a testament to the symbiotic relationship between the protectors and the protected, a delicate balance that fueled their shared endeavors. Moved by the scene unfolding before her, Amber stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. "On behalf of all the soldiers gathered here, I extend our deepest appreciation to all of you." An hour later, a formidable force consisting of approximately 50,000 troops and 100 Dragonians, loyal warriors of the Eastern Empire, were assembled and prepared for their mission. Their departure was accompanied by a solemn decree from the Prime Minister, delivered in the form of a letter, bearing the weight of their purpose. Spencer, the steadfast leader, entrusted Amber with a crucial task, to leave behind a contingent of several thousand soldiers and 5 Dragonians, dedicated to safeguarding the city of Serenesta. Their presence would ensure the protection of its inhabitants, as well as maintain stability during the upcoming transition. The letter revealed that, in the coming days, a new city lord would be appointed to govern Serenesta, further ensuring the continuity of governance and order. Within the pages of the letter, inked with the Prime Minister's resolute words, lay a strategic directive for Amber herself. Spencer urged her to redirect her focus toward the capital, the heart of all rebellion. It was in this city that the most significant pockets of resistance thrived, posing a threat to the Empire's harmony and peace. Spencer emphasized that, by dismantling these formidable rebellion groups, a semblance of tranquility would be restored, allowing the Empire to flourish once more. In addition, the letter carried an intriguing mention of Aditya's involvement. Aditya, the emperor whom Amber admired and respected deeply, had made a decisive move. The entirety of the revered Shadow Guardian division had been deployed to the northwestern region, entrusted with a pivotal task. Their mission entailed identifying the nobles and influential figures responsible for pilfering the Empire's wealth, and ensuring they faced justice in the Empire's courts. The Shadow Guardians, renowned for their stealth and skill, would relentlessly pursue these perpetrators, delivering them to the halls of justice where their deeds would be accounted for. As Amber absorbed the contents of the letter, a sense of purpose coursed through her veins. The weight of responsibility settled upon her shoulders, but she embraced it with unwavering determination. The Empire needed her, and she would rise to the challenge. With Spencer's guidance and Aditya's unwavering support, Amber's resolve burned brighter than ever before. The rebels huddled together, their apprehension palpable in the air as they anxiously awaited the arrival of Victoria Baxter, the legendary Dragonian known for her unmatched strength and ruthlessness. Among the nervous soldiers stood Commander Mick, his face etched with a mix of determination and concern. He had witnessed Victoria's devastating power firsthand, and the memory of her merciless onslaught haunted him. As the soldiers whispered among themselves, their voices laced with trepidation, Mick decided to address their fears head-on. He gathered his troops, trying to exude an air of confidence despite the mounting tension. "Listen up, everyone." Mick's voice boomed, commanding their attention. "I won't sugarcoat it. Victoria Baxter is a force to be reckoned with. She's fierce and relentless, and has left a trail of destruction in her wake. But we cannot let fear consume us. We have a cause to fight for, and it's our duty to stand against her." The soldiers exchanged anxious glances, their hands trembling involuntarily. Mick regarded Sam with a sympathetic gaze, understanding the weight of his concerns. As the conversation continued, the soldiers shared their own stories, their voices laced with fear and admiration for Victoria. Private Rachel, her voice trembling, shared her encounter with Victoria during a skirmish a few days prior. I saw her, charging through our lines, her eyes filled with a kind of intensity I've never witnessed before. A seasoned soldier named Henry, his voice gruff with experience, interjected. You think that's brutal? I saw her rip through an entire battalion, single-handedly. The soldiers nodded, their faces etched with a mix of determination and fear. Amidst the conversations, a young recruit named Emma, her voice barely above a whisper, asked the question that lingered on everyone's minds. Do you think we can win? Against someone as powerful as Victoria? Mick surveyed the soldiers, his gaze filled with conviction. Emma, victory isn't guaranteed, but we fight not just for ourselves, but for our families, our homes, and a future free from tyranny. As the soldiers took in Mick's words, a hush fell over the group. In the distance, a rumble echoed through the air, growing louder with each passing moment. With their hearts pounding and their legs still trembling, the rebels braced themselves for the inevitable clash with the unstoppable force that was Victoria Baxter. The rebel soldiers stood frozen in place as Victoria Baxter descended from the sky, a radiant golden light surrounding her. The sight of her filled the air with an eerie tension, causing their grip on their weapons to tighten involuntarily. With her feet hovering above the ground, Victoria surveyed the rebel soldiers and their commander with an air of superiority. The Dragonian's voice pierced through the silence, commanding attention and sending shivers down the spines of those present. I have come with a message and an order from my lord, she declared, holding the flag of the Eastern Empire in her right hand. As her cold gaze swept over the crowd, her words hung in the air like a dreadful omen. Oh, people of the former Uzacan Empire, your empire now belongs to the Eastern Empire. My master, the Eastern Emperor, wishes for you all to lay down your weapons and surrender yourselves to the Eastern Empire while you still have a chance for redemption. Her voice turned icy, freezing the hearts of those who listened. Or if you dare to stand in my master's way, then I will have to end your lives. The choice is yours. The rebellion soldiers exchanged anxious glances, uncertainty etched on their faces. The weight of the decision bore down upon them heavily. Suddenly, one soldier dropped his sword and discarded his armor, falling to his knees in surrender. The sight of his capitulation acted as a catalyst, igniting a chain reaction among his comrades. One by one, they followed suit, relinquishing their weapons and submitting themselves to Victoria's authority. Upon witnessing the surrender of his soldiers, the rebellion commander, Mick, turned pale with anger and disbelief. He spun around and shouted at his troops in a desperate attempt to rouse their spirits. What are you doing, you fools? Why are you surrendering? One soldier, unable to contain his fear, found his voice and spoke up. Why shouldn't we surrender? If I surrender now, I might have a chance to join the Eastern Empire's military in the future. There are rumors that they accept surrendered soldiers who prove their loyalty. If I follow you, all it will bring me is death, and I can't bear the thought of my family suffering because of it. The soldiers' words echoed through the hesitant crowd, sparking a glimmer of hope in the hearts of others. The realization that surrender might offer a way out fueled the growing number of soldiers opting to submit to the Eastern Empire. Observing the scene unfold, Victoria remained stoic, silently observing the crumbling resistance. Former general of the Uzacan Empire, she addressed Mick with an unwavering gaze. You had the option to surrender, yet you chose to lead an army of 100,000 and incite rebellion. Your actions have caused chaos and shattered the order. As such, I am ending your life right now. Mick's protests were cut short as Victoria flicked her hand, a slender, needle-like beam of light shooting forth with deadly accuracy. It pierced Mick's skull, leaving a gaping hole before he crumpled to the ground, lifeless. The brutal efficiency of Victoria's attack sent shockwaves through the remaining soldiers, their faces drained of color as the true extent of her ruthlessness became apparent. As the last of the soldiers surrendered, a wave of relief washed over Victoria. She was silently grateful that she didn't have to resort to taking their lives, as she had been forced to do countless times before. These past 2 days had been a relentless pursuit, moving from one rebellion group to another, methodically dismantling their resistance. The weight of her actions had taken its toll, but she knew that her mission was necessary to restore order to the Uzacan Empire. Victoria's presence alone had been enough to strike fear into the hearts of the rebels. With each city she subdued, her determination grew stronger. As Victoria stood amidst the surrendered soldiers, the gravity of her actions weighed heavily upon her. Her gaze swept over the defeated rebels, now stripped of their weapons and reduced to mere captives. With a sense of duty and determination, Victoria knew her mission was not yet complete. She would continue her relentless pursuit until every last trace of resistance was eradicated. She had become a force of reckoning, a harbinger of the Eastern Empire's authority, and a beacon of hope for those who craved stability. The journey ahead was arduous, but Victoria would not waver. She would carry out her duty, no matter the personal toll it took. For she was the strongest Dragonian of the Eastern Empire, and her resolve burned like an unquenchable flame, ready to purge the rebellion and pave the way for a new era of peace. Victoria let out a sigh, a mixture of exhaustion and anticipation, as she surveyed the subdued rebels before her. As her thoughts turned to the Dragon Palace, a flicker of defiance ignited within Victoria. Aditya, the Eastern Emperor, was the figure whom Victoria referred to as her master. Their complicated history had seen them on opposite sides of a conflict, their paths entwined in a dance of enmity and respect. Yet, despite their differences, Aditya had managed to captivate Victoria's heart, forging a connection that defied logic and reason. With a mix of determination and a touch of playful stubbornness, Victoria pondered the rewards that awaited her in the Dragon Palace. She had dedicated herself tirelessly to her duties as the strongest Dragonian of the Eastern Empire, her unwavering loyalty driving her actions. She had waged war against the rebels, leaving a trail of destruction in her wake, all in service of her master's cause. However, her thoughts turned defiant, as a hint of skepticism crept into her voice. Her master's acknowledgement of her efforts, and the rewards she longed for, became a source of uncertainty. Victoria's eyes narrowed, a subtle challenge underlying her words. If her master failed to recognize her contributions, if he overlooked the sacrifices she had made, there would be consequences. A silent determination settled over Victoria as she continued to address the rebels before her. The battle was not over, and she knew there was still much to be done. But deep within her heart, there was a flicker of anticipation, a flame fueled by the promise of returning to the Dragon Palace and the man who had stolen her heart. With a resolute gaze, Victoria refocused her attention on the present, leaving behind her thoughts of rewards and recognition for the moment. In the southern region of the dying continent, Cain, the former king of the Skyline Kingdom, strolled along the familiar streets, his daughter Jennifer cradled in his arms. The once familiar sights and sounds that had once defined his realm were now altered beyond recognition. In the span of a few short months, the transformation had been profound, leaving him in awe of the changes that had befallen his once small kingdom. As he walked amidst the bustling streets, Cain observed the vibrant display of multicolored lights that illuminated the city. Joy and happiness radiated from the faces of the people, their contentment palpable. It was a sight he had failed to witness during his reign as king, a time marred by struggles and poverty. The transformation of the Skyline Kingdom under the rule of the Eastern Empire, led by Emperor Aditya, had brought about a profound shift in the lives of its inhabitants. Jennifer, a young girl with wide, curious eyes, looked around with wonder, taking in the bustling scene. Sensing her father's contemplative mood, she broke the silence with a curious question. "Father, why did we come back here? I thought we left the Skyline Kingdom for good." Cain paused for a moment, his gaze shifting from the vibrant streets to his daughter's innocent face. "My dear Jennifer, I never imagined that we would return to this region so soon. Selling our kingdom to the Eastern Empire seemed like the end of an era, but little did I know the profound changes that would occur under Emperor Aditya's reign." He continued, his voice tinged with a mix of nostalgia and amazement. "The empire has brought progress and prosperity to this land. Our former subjects now enjoy a life of abundance and happiness. It is a sight that warms my heart and fills me with both joy and regret." Jennifer furrowed her brows, a hint of confusion crossing her face. "Regret, father? But why would you feel regret when the people are so happy?" Cain's eyes softened as he gazed at his daughter, struggling to put his emotions into words. "My dear, I regret not being able to provide such prosperity and happiness during my time as king. I failed to see the potential of our kingdom, the potential that has now been realized under the guidance of Emperor Aditya and the Eastern Empire." He took a deep breath, a mixture of gratitude and melancholy filling his voice. "But I am grateful, Jennifer. Grateful that through Emperor Aditya's intervention, I was able to seek the healing powers of the goddess of nature and extend my life. It allowed me to witness this transformation firsthand and to bring you back to the place that was once our home." As they continued their walk through the bustling streets, Cain couldn't help but feel a bittersweet mixture of pride and longing. Pride for the progress his former kingdom had achieved and longing for the opportunity to have been a part of it. Yet, he knew that everything had unfolded as it should, and he was grateful for the chance to witness the happiness and prosperity that now graced the lives of the people he once ruled. As they reached a prominent square, Cain gazed at the statue erected in honor of Emperor Aditya, a symbol of gratitude for the transformation he had brought about. He whispered a silent prayer of thanks, knowing that the decision to sell his kingdom had been the right one, and that the people were now thriving under the enlightened rule of the Eastern Empire. Hand in hand, Cain and Jennifer walked on, embracing the city that was once their own, now transformed into a place of joy and fulfillment. They may no longer hold the reins of power, but their hearts swelled with pride as they watched their former kingdom flourish under new leadership. "Father, you were a remarkable king to your people. Despite the constant pressure from the Southern Fire Dragon Empire, you stood your ground and never wavered. Your strength and dedication to your people were evident in every decision you made. Please, father, be proud of yourself." Jennifer's innocent words rang in Cain's ears, striking a chord deep within him. He felt a surge of emotions well up within his chest, a mixture of pride, gratitude, and perhaps a touch of longing. He nodded, masking his feelings, not wanting to reveal his vulnerable side to his daughter. As they continued to explore and immerse themselves in the transformed kingdom, a Dragonian suddenly approached Cain, interrupting their joyful escapade. Towering at an imposing height of 6 feet, the Dragonian's presence commanded attention. The unexpected encounter piqued Cain's curiosity, and he exchanged a puzzled glance with Jennifer. "Sir, His Majesty requests your presence," the Dragonian announced, handing Cain a sealed letter before vanishing as mysteriously as they had appeared. Cain's heart raced with anticipation as he carefully broke the seal and unfolded the parchment, revealing the words written by Emperor Aditya himself. "Cain, I hope this letter finds you and Jennifer in good health and high spirits. I write to you today with an offer that may come as a surprise, but one I sincerely hope you will consider. Your presence and wisdom are deeply valued, and I believe that you have much to contribute to the growth and prosperity of the Eastern Empire. I hereby extend an invitation to you, Cain, to become a noble of our empire. As a noble, you will be granted the recognition, privileges, and responsibilities commensurate with your experience and stature. Your presence in the capital would be greatly appreciated, as it would afford us the opportunity to discuss in person the details of your role and the contributions you can make to our society. Your tenure as the king of the Skyline Kingdom has left an indelible mark on the hearts of your people and in the annals of history. I believe that together, we can forge a brighter future for not just the Eastern Empire, but for all those who call this land home. I eagerly await your response and hope that you will honor me with your presence. May the winds of destiny guide you. Emperor Aditya." Cain read the words carefully, his eyes scanning each line as a mix of surprise and gratitude washed over him. The proposition extended by Emperor Aditya was unexpected, but it held a promise of new beginnings and a chance to continue making a positive impact on the lives of others. His thoughts turned to Jennifer, and he considered the potential opportunities and challenges they would face if he were to accept the offer. Gently folding the letter and tucking it into his pocket, Cain turned to his daughter, a contemplative look on his face. Jennifer, it seems that our journey has taken an unexpected turn. Emperor Aditya, the ruler of the Eastern Empire, has extended an offer for me to become a noble within his realm. It is an opportunity to continue serving others and contribute to the growth of a new land. Jennifer's eyes widened with both excitement and uncertainty. Father, what does that mean for us? Will we leave our home again? Cain crouched down to be at eye level with his daughter, offering her a reassuring smile. It means that new adventures await us, my dear. If we accept this offer, we will be embarking on a new chapter in our lives. We may have to leave behind the familiarity of our current surroundings, but it also presents us with the chance to build new connections and be part of something greater. Jennifer pondered her father's words for a moment, her young mind trying to grasp the magnitude of the decision at hand. Father, if it means helping others and making a difference like you did before, then I am ready for this new adventure. Cain's heart swelled with pride at his daughter's unwavering support. He placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Thank you, Jennifer. Your strength and understanding mean the world to me. Let us consider this opportunity carefully and weigh the pros and cons together. Whatever path we choose, we will face it as a family. With their minds set on the future, father and daughter resumed their leisurely stroll through the bustling streets, the letter from Emperor Aditya tucked safely away, its contents fueling their dreams of destiny yet to unfold. Scene changed to West Nia, the ethereal empire, ________________. Knock. Knock. Your Highness, you have a visitor, announced the royal attendant, interrupting the busy atmosphere of the throne hall. Amidst the flurry of activity, Noah Osborne, the older brother of Alicia Osborne, was deeply engrossed in a new project that aimed to revolutionize the transportation network within the empire. For nearly 9 decades, the empire had relied on a transportation network that had long surpassed its prime. The rapid growth of the population, a staggering 21% increase over the years, had led to the formation of new villages, towns, and cities throughout the realm. Furthermore, the empire's economy had flourished, expanding threefold since the last infrastructure overhaul. However, the current state of affairs had left small merchants grappling with limited options. The exorbitant costs associated with teleportation arrays rendered them accessible only to the rich and influential merchants, leaving smaller traders to rely on the outdated road network for the transportation of their goods. Recognizing the urgent need for change, Noah and his team were driven by a grand purpose. The ambitious endeavor to rebuild the road network would not only benefit small-scale merchants but also enhance the lives of people from all walks of life, including those in different professions and avid travelers. By creating a new and comprehensive road network, the project aimed to bridge the gaps between every village and major city within the empire. As Noah's mind delved into the intricacies of the project, considering the various challenges and potential opportunities, he couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and responsibility. Just as Noah was about to delve deeper into his thoughts, the arrival of the visitor drew his attention. He looked up to see a royal messenger standing before him, bearing news that demanded his immediate attention. Setting aside his work momentarily, Noah addressed the visitor with a polite yet inquisitive tone. Greetings. Who is the visitor? Your Royal Highness, Miss Sylvie is here to see you, the royal messenger announced, bowing respectfully in Noah's presence. Noah, engrossed in his work, momentarily lifted his gaze and replied with a composed tone, let her in. The door swung open, revealing Sylvie, Alicia's closest confidant, standing at the entrance. Her eyes met Noah's, a mixture of curiosity and anticipation sparkling within them. She approached him with a mixture of respect and familiarity, unsure of the appropriate way to address him in this evolving chapter of his life. How should I address you? Sylvie inquired, her voice filled with a blend of wonder and reverence. Your Royal Highness. Your Majesty. Noah's thoughts drifted to the weight of his impending responsibilities as he prepared to ascend the throne of the ethereal empire. His father, recognizing his potential, had been diligently grooming him for this momentous role. A gentle smile tugged at the corners of Noah's lips as he considered Sylvie's query. He extended a comforting hand towards her, inviting her into a more personal conversation. Please, Sylvie, you have been Alicia's dear friend for so long. There's no need for formalities between us. Address me as you always have, Noah. I value your friendship and trust. As Noah and Sylvie patiently awaited the arrival of Noah's father, their conversation took a light-hearted turn, with Sylvie playfully teasing Noah about his newlywed life. Noah, how is your married life going? Noah's cheeks flushed with a tinge of embarrassment, his gaze momentarily shifting downward. Slightly regaining his composure, Noah retorted with a playful tone, Sylvie, unlike a certain someone, I believe in nurturing and investing time to strengthen the bond with my wife. Sylvie's expression wavered for a moment, the mischievous smirk fading from her face as Noah's words struck a nerve. Sensing Sylvie's momentary shift, Noah quickly changed the subject, his intention to alleviate any unintentional distress he may have caused. Anyway, what brings you here? It's quite rare for you to grace the royal castle with your presence without a significant reason. A mischievous glint danced in Sylvie's eyes as she replied, her voice filled with a mix of excitement and intrigue. Oh, I have some truly fascinating and juicy news for you, Noah. Noah's demeanor turned serious, his interest piqued by Sylvie's cryptic statement. Pray, enlighten me. What news do you bring? He pressed, eager for the revelation. Sylvie's tone took on a somber note as she disclosed the startling information, her words hanging in the air like a heavy shroud. The Isteran Empire has emerged victorious against the Oracle Alliance. What was supposed to be a peace treaty transformed into a gruesome massacre. It seems the enemy emperor had nefarious intentions, attempting to end Aditya's life. In the wake of their leader's demise, the Isteran Empire and its allies seized control of the Oracle Alliance's territories. Noah's shock was palpable, his features contorted in disbelief. He was well aware of the Oracle Alliance's political prowess and formidable military might. While he had faith in his brother-in-law Aditya's capabilities, he hadn't anticipated such a swift and devastating outcome. The weight of responsibility pressed upon Noah's shoulders, his thoughts racing as he contemplated the potential consequences of this sudden turn of events. Sylvie, this news changes everything. We must tread carefully and be prepared for the repercussions. The Isteran Empire's triumph will undoubtedly reshape the political landscape, and we must consider its impact on our own realm. Noah's initial shock subsided, allowing a smile to play upon his lips. Indeed, life is full of surprises, he agreed, recognizing the unpredictable nature of the world they inhabited. Sylvie nodded in agreement, her expression holding a trace of amusement. Curiosity filled Noah's eyes as he inquired, "So, what brings you here, Sylvie? Surely, there must be a more significant reason than merely delivering this news." Sylvie blinked innocently, her gaze feigning innocence. "Oh, I just thought you should be the first to know." Noah's smile widened, amusement glinting in his eyes. "Sylvie, let's not play games. I know you well enough to understand that you wouldn't visit the royal castle unless there was a matter of importance to discuss." A giggle escaped Sylvie's lips as she conceded, her demeanor shifting to a more serious tone. "You caught me. In truth, I have made a decision. I am planning to travel to the Isteran Empire soon." Noah's surprise was evident, his brows furrowing in disbelief. "What?" Noah exclaimed, his astonishment evident. Sylvie met Noah's surprise with a serious gaze, her commitment to her words unwavering. "Yes, Noah. It is time for me to step beyond the boundaries of our continent and explore new horizons. There are matters I must attend to, connections I must establish. The Isteran Empire presents an opportunity one cannot ignore," she explained, her voice filled with resolve. Noah's astonishment slowly morphed into curiosity, tempered by a hint of concern. "Sylvie, I understand your desire for exploration and growth, but the White Lotus Guild relies on your leadership. Your absence will undoubtedly impact its operations," he pointed out, aware of the significance of Sylvie's role. A faint smile graced Sylvie's lips, her eyes reflecting a mixture of determination and anticipation. "Noah, I have taken every precaution to ensure a smooth transition in my absence. My trusted advisors will step up in my place, and I have faith in their capabilities. It is time for me to venture beyond the confines of familiarity, to experience the world beyond the borders of our beloved continent," she expressed, her voice tinged with a sense of liberation. Noah, recognizing Sylvie's unwavering determination, nodded in acceptance. Though reluctant to see her leave, he understood the importance of personal growth and exploration. His gaze met Sylvie's, his voice tinged with a mix of support and concern. "Sylvie, if this is truly your path, I wish you the best of luck. May your journey be filled with discovery, and may you find the fulfillment you seek. Just remember, you will always have a place here, and your guild will eagerly await your return." Return. Sylvie's eyes softened, gratitude shining within their depths. "Thank you, Noah. Your words mean more to me than you know. I promise, the White Lotus Guild will remain in capable hands, and I will return when the time is right," she assured him, her tone resolute. Noah offered a reassuring smile, understanding the fire that burned within Sylvie's spirit. As she stood before him, ready to embark on her next adventure, he couldn't help but feel a mixture of admiration and bittersweetness. The world was vast, and each individual had their own path to tread. And so, with a nod of understanding, Noah silently wished Sylvie well on her journey to the Isteran Empire and beyond. Scene change ________________________________________________________________________________________________________________. The moon hung high in the night sky as the Prime Minister of the Isteran Empire, Spencer, found himself immersed in his duties. The late hour betrayed the exhaustion that clung to his weary frame, but the weight of his responsibilities kept him anchored to his desk. As the empire expanded its territories, the burden upon his shoulders seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. A mixture of admiration and concern swirled within Spencer's mind as he contemplated the recent achievements of Emperor Aditya. His Majesty's relentless pursuit of conquest has propelled the Isteran Empire to unprecedented heights, he mused silently, his respect for Aditya's strategic prowess deepening. However, the rapid expansion had its toll, and Spencer felt the strain on his own well-being. With a tired sigh, Spencer acknowledged the pressing need for rest. The workload had become overwhelming, and the constant demands of his position had left him with little time for personal respite. Sleep had become a fleeting luxury, as he traded restful nights for endless hours at his office. "I fear I cannot keep up with the pace of expansion," Spencer admitted to himself, his weariness etched into every line on his face. The Isteran Empire now controlled a staggering amount of the continent's landmass, with nearly 50% of its territories falling under their dominion. The sheer magnitude of their conquests was a testament to the empire's power, but it also meant an ever-increasing load of responsibilities for the Prime Minister. As he sat amidst the quiet solitude of his office, Spencer's thoughts turned to the person he loved, a bright light amidst the darkness of his relentless work. Despite the profound connection they shared, his demanding schedule left little room for their relationship to flourish. Guilt gnawed at his heart, for he longed to give her the time and attention she deserved. "I yearn for a moment's respite, to be able to steal away and savor the joys of life," Spencer whispered to himself, his voice laced with a mixture of longing and weariness. The weight of his responsibilities threatened to overshadow the happiness he so desperately sought. Gazing out of the window, the city lights shimmering in the distance, Spencer knew that a change was necessary. He could no longer ignore the exhaustion that had taken hold of him, nor the toll it was exacting on his physical and mental well-being. A decision formed in his mind, a promise to himself and his loved ones. He would find a way to balance his duties and personal life, to create space for rest and rejuvenation. With renewed determination, Spencer resolved to approach Emperor Aditya to discuss the need for a temporary halt in expansion. The fate of the empire relied not only on its conquests but also on the well-being of its leaders. It was time to seek a moment of respite, to replenish his spirit and ensure that he could continue to serve the empire with unwavering dedication. As the night wore on, Spencer set aside his work, allowing himself a few hours of much-needed rest. The path ahead may be arduous, he would navigate the challenges that lay before him. The empire, his loved ones, and his own well-being depended on it. Just as Spencer was about to drift into much-needed sleep, a gentle knock interrupted his tranquility. Weary but curious, he called out, "Who is it?" "It's me," came the soft reply, a melodic voice that Spencer instantly recognized. Arya, his beloved, stood on the other side of the door. "You can come in, Arya," Spencer welcomed her, a spark of warmth lighting up his tired eyes. Arya, dressed in comfortable pajamas, stepped into the room, a small candle casting a warm glow on her delicate features. "Are you not sleeping?" Arya's concerned voice resonated through the room, her eyes scanning Spencer's fatigued form. She could see the toll his responsibilities had taken on him, both physically and mentally. Spencer mustered a weary smile in response. "I could ask you the same question." His office, typically bustling with royal officials during the day, now lay quiet and serene, the couch beckoning for moments of respite. The night had brought solace to the room, with only the dim candlelight and the distant view of Azure City through the window to accompany them. Gently settling beside Spencer on the couch, Arya's worry etched into her expression. "I couldn't sleep, knowing you were burdened by your work," she confessed, her concern for him unwavering. Spencer sighed softly, appreciating her genuine care. "I suppose our concerns mirror each other," he admitted. The weight of his responsibilities had often kept him away from the comforts of restful sleep, as his days bled into nights within the confines of his office. Their relationship, though still in its tender stages, faced a unique obstacle: Spencer's unyielding dedication to his work. The demands of his position as Prime Minister left little time for their relationship to flourish, hindering their progress toward deeper intimacy. Their love had bloomed amidst the bustling halls of the Dragon Palace, yet the ever-present pressures of duty continued to cast a shadow on their connection. Arya's presence provided solace in the midst of his demanding existence. Her unwavering support and affection filled the room, casting a warm aura that battled against the fatigue that clung to Spencer's weary frame. She understood the sacrifices he made for the empire, aware of the countless nights he spent within the walls of his office, his true sanctuary. Gazing out the window, Spencer's tired eyes caught a glimpse of the distant Azure City, its vibrant lights twinkling like stars against the night sky. The view served as a poignant reminder of the world outside, where moments of respite awaited those brave enough to seize them. "Perhaps it's time for a change," Spencer murmured, his voice tinged with a mixture of weariness and determination. His gaze shifted to meet Arya's, his expression filled with a renewed resolve. "I cannot continue at this relentless pace forever. We deserve a life beyond the confines of my office." Arya's eyes widened with a glimmer of hope, her heart leaping at the prospect of a future where they could embrace their love fully. She understood the complexities of Spencer's role, but she longed for the time and intimacy that had eluded them thus far. "We can find a way," Arya whispered, her voice filled with unwavering support. "Together, we can create a space for us, a realm where work and love intertwine harmoniously." As they sat side by side on the couch, the flickering candlelight casting playful shadows across the room, Spencer felt a renewed sense of purpose. In that quiet moment, the distant city lights mirrored the ember of hope that burned brightly within their hearts. A new chapter awaited, where love and rest would find their rightful place amidst the grand tapestry of the Eastern Empire. On the fourth day following the decisive conclusion of the war between the Oracle Alliance and the Triumvirate Alliance, the ripples of this momentous event continued to reverberate throughout the entire continent. The news had traveled far and wide, capturing the attention of other powerful empires across distant lands. Amidst the continent's collective discussion and speculation, the enigmatic figure at the center of it all, Aditya, found solace and tranquility within the grandeur of the Dragon Palace. After sharing a hearty breakfast with his family, he devoted a moment to nourishing Lara, his fourth fiancée, with his life-giving blood, a sacred ritual that strengthened their bond. With the morning rituals completed, Aditya made his way to his office, where matters of the empire awaited his attention. Meanwhile, Arya, accompanied by Rhea, Lara, and Julia, ventured off to engage in lively conversations and activities. Ever since Arya had become a part of the Dragon Palace, Aditya's other fiancés had taken it upon themselves to embrace her, ensuring she felt welcomed and cherished within their close-knit family. Alicia, the goddess of wealth, was consumed by her myriad responsibilities and unable to join the gathering, leaving the girls to share their laughter and stories without her presence. Within the Emperor's office, a chamber of power and authority, Aditya sat comfortably in a plush chair, his commanding presence emanating a sense of calm. Standing across from him was Spencer, his trusted Prime Minister, who presented him with a stack of documents requiring the Emperor's attention. Aditya perused the papers carefully, absorbing their contents while listening intently to Spencer's report. The topic at hand revolved around the progress of Miss Victoria, an extraordinary individual whose swift actions had dealt significant blows to rebel factions within the Uzakan Empire. Spencer's estimate painted an optimistic picture: the complete eradication of rebels within the Uzakan Empire was only a matter of days away, thanks to Miss Victoria's remarkable efficiency. Aditya acknowledged Spencer's observations with a nod, their shared understanding evident. It was clear that Miss Victoria's exceptional abilities and unwavering dedication were crucial to the rapid restoration of peace within the Uzacan Empire. Without her invaluable contributions, the process would have extended over several arduous weeks. Curiosity brimming within him, Aditya inquired about the progress of other crucial matters, knowing that the security of the Eastern Empire relied on their successful resolution. And what of the others? How are they faring? Aditya's voice carried a mix of intrigue and concern. Though he entrusted much of these affairs to Spencer's capable hands, he understood the gravity of the situation, making it essential for him to remain well informed. Spencer met Aditya's gaze, his expression firm and resolute. General Amber, as per your orders, is leading her army toward the capital. General Nathan and the Shadow Guardians are diligently tracking down the nobles who fled with the Empire's wealth, their pursuit yielding favorable results thus far. General Eleanor has assumed Nathan's previous role and is currently leading a force of 500,000 troops to the Obi Islands. According to her most recent correspondence, they have successfully reached the islands after a 3-day journey by boat. Aditya absorbed this information, his mind comprehending the intricate chessboard of their strategic maneuvers. He acknowledged the steady progress made by each of his trusted generals, understanding the magnitude of their tasks. If circumstances allowed, Aditya would have been personally involved, hastening the resolution of these critical matters. However, he had made a promise, an obligation that compelled him to journey to the Deep Sea Palace to aid Laura, an endeavor that demanded his immediate attention. With a thoughtful nod, Aditya acknowledged Spencer's report, fully aware of the responsibilities that rested upon his shoulders. The weight of leadership, the burden of decision-making, and the ever-expanding scope of the Eastern Empire loomed over him. After an hour filled with attentive listening, meticulous reading, and the signing of crucial documents, Aditya paused, his gaze shifting toward Spencer. A sense of determination tinged with compassion emanated from his eyes. Today, Spencer, you shall be granted 3 new capable assistants, Aditya announced, surprising his devoted prime minister. He recognized Spencer's unwavering dedication, understanding the toll it took on his personal life and the limited time he could spend with his girlfriend. Spencer, taken aback by this unexpected announcement, expressed his gratitude. Your Majesty, I am truly honored by your consideration. Thank you for recognizing my efforts. Aditya's trust in his close ally extended beyond mere words. Alicia, the goddess of wealth and one of Aditya's fiancées, had handpicked these 3 new assistants, their capabilities and integrity vouched for by her discerning judgment. After ensuring they signed the sole contract, binding them to protect and uphold the Empire's secrets, Aditya granted Spencer the authority to incorporate them into his team. Should the workload prove overwhelming, Aditya was open to considering additional assistance. Gratitude radiated from Spencer as he absorbed Aditya's words, a newfound sense of relief washing over him. The prospect of having competent aides by his side meant not only a lightened workload but also the opportunity to cherish moments with his beloved. In the grand study of the Dragon Palace, adorned with intricate tapestries and shelves lined with ancient tomes, Aditya and Spencer sat opposite each other at a large oak table. Papers, scrolls, and maps covered the surface, each document representing a different matter that required the Emperor's attention. Aditya's brow furrowed as he perused a report detailing a recent increase in smuggling activities along the Eastern Empire's southern border. Spencer, it appears that our efforts to combat smuggling operations are falling short. The influx of contraband goods is not only impacting our economy but also undermining the stability of the region. We need a more effective strategy. Spencer, always quick to analyze and propose solutions, leaned forward, studying the same report. Indeed, Your Majesty. To tackle this issue, we could bolster our border patrol forces with additional personnel and implement stricter inspections and surveillance measures. Furthermore, I believe it would be prudent to collaborate with neighboring kingdoms and establish intelligence-sharing networks to better identify and apprehend the leaders of these smuggling rings. Aditya nodded approvingly, acknowledging the comprehensive approach presented by his trusted advisor. Excellent suggestions, Spencer. Initiate discussions with the neighboring kingdoms immediately, emphasizing the importance of unity in combating smuggling. Simultaneously, assign a task force to investigate the root causes and identify key players involved. We cannot allow our borders to be compromised. As they deliberated over various matters, another pressing issue came to the forefront, reports of a rebellion brewing within a remote province. Aditya's gaze darkened, his voice firm. Spencer, we must quell this rebellion swiftly and decisively. Lives are at stake, and any disruption to our territories threatens the harmony we have worked so hard to achieve. Spencer, his mind already working through the intricacies of the situation, interjected, Your Majesty, I have dispatched a peak 4th Dragonian along with 5,000 troops to the province in question. They will neutralize the rebellion and restore order. However, we must also address the underlying discontentment. I propose allocating additional resources to the province for development and welfare programs, ensuring the grievances of the people are addressed. I think you should take a look at. Aditya nodded, appreciating Spencer's comprehensive approach to governance. Indeed, Spencer. While we must maintain law and order, we should also strive to understand and address the root causes of unrest. Begin drafting a comprehensive plan that emphasizes economic development, education, and social welfare initiatives tailored to the specific needs of the province. Hours turned into minutes as Aditya and Spencer meticulously tackled each issue, deliberating over matters of diplomacy, resource management, and internal security. Their discussions ranged from economic reforms and trade agreements to agricultural innovations and cultural preservation. Aditya valued Spencer's insights, relying on his prime minister's intellect and unwavering dedication to guide the empire toward prosperity. In this dynamic partnership, Aditya's vision and leadership were complemented by Spencer's keen strategic mind and administrative expertise. Together, they navigated the intricate web of challenges that befell an empire, adapting their approaches to ensure the stability, growth, and welfare of their people. Another 2 hours passed, and the once bustling atmosphere within Aditya's office gradually quieted as Spencer concluded his tasks. Thanks to Spencer's unwavering diligence and meticulous organization, the paperwork had been efficiently sorted and managed. Aditya, appreciating his prime minister's unwavering loyalty and commitment, had complete faith in Spencer. In the midst of chaos or even impending calamity, Spencer would remain steadfast, upholding the empire and its ruler without hesitation. With the completion of the day's administrative responsibilities, Aditya found himself momentarily freed from the demands of paperwork. The respite allowed him to focus on other pressing matters. Scene change _________. As Aditya sat upon his majestic throne, adorned in the resplendent crimson regalia, the symbol of his authority as the Dragon Monarch, the chamber echoed with a sense of reverence and anticipation. The members of the Ice Lotus Dragon clan, clad in their traditional robes, knelt before him, their heads respectfully lowered in a display of utmost respect. Patriarch Stanley MacDonald, I welcome you and the esteemed members of the Ice Lotus Dragon clan, Aditya addressed them with a voice that resonated with regal authority. Your presence within the Dragon Palace honors me, and I am eager to hear your words. Patriarch Stanley MacDonald, a figure of wisdom and strength, rose from his kneeling position, his eyes filled with a mixture of pride and humility. He stood tall, representing the ancient lineage of the Ice Lotus Dragon clan. Dragon Monarch, we, the Ice Lotus Dragon clan, offer our utmost loyalty and allegiance to your noble reign, Patriarch Stanley spoke with a measured tone, his voice filled with respect. Our small clan, consisting of only 29 members, humbly stands before you today, recognizing your divine power and the justness of your rule. Aditya's gaze shifted from Stanley to the members of the Ice Lotus Dragon clan, each face displaying a unique blend of determination and devotion. Among them, his eyes lingered upon Mila MacDonald, the youngest member of the clan, whose courage and unwavering spirit had caught his attention during the war. Mila MacDonald, your valiant actions during the recent conflict have not gone unnoticed, Aditya addressed her directly, his voice filled with admiration. Your dedication to the ideals of honor and bravery has impressed me greatly. It is an honor to have you and your esteemed clan within the Dragon Palace. Mila, her eyes filled with a mix of humility and gratitude, lowered her head further in acknowledgement of the Dragon Monarch's words. The other members of the clan exchanged proud glances, recognizing the significance of this moment. Dragon Monarch, we are but a humble clan, rooted in the ancient traditions passed down through generations, Stanley continued, his voice carrying the weight of his responsibility as patriarch. Our loyalty and devotion to the Dragon Monarch and its people run deep within our veins. We pledge our unwavering support and protection to you, our esteemed ruler. Aditya nodded, his expression reflecting the deep appreciation he held for their commitment. I am honored to accept your allegiance, Ice Lotus Dragon clan. Really thank you very much to all those who send support with valuable golden tickets. I hope we can keep. You can enjoy your stay at the Dragon Palace until your new home is arranged, Aditya graciously offered to Patriarch Stanley and the Ice Lotus clan. Recognizing the sacrifice they had made to come and serve the Dragon Monarch, he was determined to provide them with a suitable place to settle down and call their own. Patriarch Stanley, his eyes filled with gratitude, pondered the question before responding with a humble request. Your Majesty, if it pleases you, I would be grateful if my clan could settle in a location outside the bustling capital. We are the Ice Lotus Dragon clan, and we have a deep affinity for water. Therefore, if it is possible, a home near a water source would be ideal for us. Aditya nodded, his mind swiftly navigating through his vast knowledge of the empire's geography. He closed his eyes, visualizing the land and considering the various possibilities. After a moment of contemplation, he opened his eyes and spoke with a sense of certainty. Approximately 11 kilometers west of Azure City, there lies a magnificent lake, encompassed by a small yet majestic mountain chain, Aditya explained, his voice carrying a hint of nostalgia. To the best of my recollection, that particular area remains untouched and uninhabited. Within a 10-kilometer radius, there are several small villages, fostering a sense of community and connection. Would such a location be amenable to your clan, Patriarch Stanley? Patriarch Stanley's eyes widened in astonishment. The prospect of a serene lake surrounded by lofty mountains resonated deeply with the spirit of the Ice Lotus Dragon clan. It was as if Aditya had intuitively understood their desires and presented them with a perfect option. Your Majesty, that sounds like an ideal place for our clan to settle, Patriarch Stanley replied, his voice filled with gratitude. Being near the tranquil waters of the lake and surrounded by the protective embrace of the mountains would be a true blessing for us. We are immensely grateful for your consideration. Aditya smiled, a genuine warmth radiating from him. Consider it done, Patriarch Stanley. I will personally ensure that the necessary arrangements are made for your clan to settle in that location. It shall become your new home, where you can thrive and continue to honor the legacy of the Ice Lotus Dragon clan. Patriarch Stanley and the members of the Ice Lotus clan bowed deeply, expressing their heartfelt appreciation for the Dragon Monarch's generosity. The sense of relief and anticipation filled the air as plans were set into motion to create a haven for the Ice Lotus Dragon clan, a place where they could forge new beginnings and carry their traditions forward. As the meeting came to a close, Aditya reflected on the significance of this exchange. It was not merely about providing a new home, but about fostering a sense of belonging and unity within his empire. The Ice Lotus Dragon clan, now entrusted with a new chapter in their history, would forever be connected to the Isteran Empire and the Dragon Monarch himself. Aditya sat solemnly upon his illustrious throne, the grandeur of the throne hall serving as a stark reminder of his weighty responsibilities. The hall, typically bustling with courtiers and officials, now stood empty, allowing him a moment of solitude to reflect upon an important matter that had eluded his attention during his earlier meeting with Spencer. As he gazed into the distance, his eyes fixed on an ornate tapestry adorning the chamber wall, his mind delved deep into the quandary that lay before him. The expansion of the Eastern Empire had bestowed upon him vast new territories, fertile lands teeming with resources and ripe with potential. However, with this growth came the inevitable need for a stronger military force to maintain order and security throughout the empire. Now that our empire's territories have expanded, Aditya contemplated, his fingers gently massaging his temples in a gesture of contemplation, we find ourselves faced with the pressing concern of insufficient troops. Our current standing army of nearly 4 million soldiers pales in comparison to the demands of our newfound domain. To ensure the stability and prosperity of every corner of the empire, we shall require a force of no less than 10 million troops, if not more. Aditya's furrowed brow betrayed the weight of his thoughts as he considered the gravity of the situation. The empire's borders had stretched far and wide, encompassing vast swaths of land that demanded vigilant protection and steadfast control. His duty as the Dragon Monarch necessitated swift action to fortify the empire's defenses. A resolve crystallized within Aditya's eyes as he reached a decision. It was imperative to relay this matter to Spencer and set in motion the necessary measures to recruit and bolster the ranks of the imperial army. Spencer, Aditya's voice reverberated through the empty hall, carrying with it a sense of authority and purpose. I must convey an oversight from our earlier discussion. With the expansion of our territories, it is evident that our current military strength is inadequate to ensure the peace and security of our realm. I hereby instruct you to issue a royal decree, initiating a widespread recruitment effort to bolster our forces. As the words resonated in the silent chamber, Aditya's gaze shifted to the far end of the throne hall, where a grand wooden door stood sentinel, ready to carry his message to the realm beyond. The responsibility of safeguarding the empire's prosperity and the welfare of its people weighed heavily upon his shoulders. It was a duty he would fulfill with unwavering determination, ensuring that the Eastern Empire stood resolute against any threat that dared to challenge its sovereignty. Scene change _______. Aditya sat regally in his seat, his eyes sparkling with genuine warmth as he welcomed Cain and his daughter, Jennifer, to the meeting. The grand chamber was adorned with opulent decorations, befitting the significance of the occasion. Across from him, Cain exuded an air of wisdom and dignity, a testament to his years of ruling the now incorporated Skyline Kingdom. Cain, my old friend, it brings me great joy to see you once again, Aditya greeted, his voice carrying a note of genuine affection. His attention momentarily shifted to the delightful sight of Jennifer, the young girl relishing the sweet treats offered by the palace maid. Her innocent and radiant smile tugged at Aditya's heart, kindling within him a longing for a child of his own. Though a mere 19 years old, Aditya possessed a maturity well beyond his years, his mind attuned to the weighty responsibilities that came with his role as Dragon Monarch that I think you should take a look at. As the conversation turned to more pressing matters, Aditya's gaze met Cain's steady and experienced eyes. It was time to extend an offer that could benefit both the empire and the respected former ruler. And now, Cain, I extend to you a proposition, Aditya began, his tone measured and earnest. I offer you a position within my empire, bestowing upon you the noble title that befits your esteemed stature. With your wealth of experience as the previous and final ruler of the Skyline Kingdom, I believe you are more than deserving of a role in governance. Aditya leaned forward slightly, his eyes conveying his sincerity. He recognized the value of entrusting the governance of a province to someone with the wisdom and understanding of the land's history. You shall have the opportunity to govern a province, Cain, within the embrace of the Eastern Empire. Your insight and expertise will prove invaluable as we continue to shape and strengthen our dominion. As the proposal hung in the air, Jennifer's eyes sparkled with a mix of delight and curiosity. The sweets she held in her hands seemed to transform into a symbol of the possibilities that lay before her father and their future within the empire. Her infectious joy radiated, encapsulating the innocence and hope that filled the room. Aditya observed Jennifer's radiant expression, a flicker of warmth crossing his own features. It was moments like these that reminded him of the profound impact his decisions could have on the lives of those around him. With each step he took to shape the empire, he aspired to create a realm where happiness and prosperity flourished, not just for himself, but for all its inhabitants. I accept with utmost gratitude, Your Majesty, Cain replied, his voice filled with genuine appreciation and excitement. The opportunity bestowed upon him was a chance to prove his loyalty and dedication to the empire. Aditya's presence commanded the room as he stepped forward, his voice resonating with authority. Cain Welsh, henceforth, you shall be appointed as the governor of the esteemed Skyline province. By my decree, I grant you the distinguished rank of Marquis. Your duty shall be to serve the Eastern Empire faithfully, working tirelessly for its greater good. I entrust you with the responsibility of upholding the empire's interests and welfare. Cain humbly dropped to one knee, bowing his head in a display of reverence and acceptance. Emotions surged within him, overwhelming him with a sense of fulfillment. The Skyline province held immense sentimental value for Cain, for it was his former kingdom that he willingly relinquished to the Eastern Empire in the face of pressure from the Southern Fire Dragon Empire. Never did he anticipate reclaiming his birthplace and having the privilege to govern it, even if he no longer bore the title of king. It was a moment of profound gratitude and realization for Cain. Aditya stood tall, his gaze fixed upon Cain, as he elaborated on the responsibilities that accompanied his newly appointed position. As the governor of the Skyline province and a noble of the Eastern Empire, you shall hold significant responsibilities. Your primary duty is to ensure the welfare and prosperity of the province and its people. You must govern with fairness, justice, and efficiency, maintaining law and order within your jurisdiction. It is imperative that you foster harmonious relations with neighboring provinces, promoting unity and cooperation for the betterment of the entire empire. Cain listened attentively, his eyes locked on Aditya. Your Majesty, I understand the weight of the responsibilities entrusted to me. I will dedicate myself to the service of the Istran Empire and its people. I shall strive to administer the province with integrity, addressing the needs and concerns of its inhabitants. The prosperity and progress of the Skyline province shall be my utmost priority. Aditya nodded, acknowledging Cain's determination. I have faith in your abilities, Cain. Remember, you are a representative of the empire, and your actions should reflect the values and principles we hold dear. Ensure that the province's resources are effectively utilized, promoting economic growth and development. Uphold the empire's laws, and should any challenges or conflicts arise, handle them judiciously and with diplomacy. Cain's eyes sparkled with resolve. Your Majesty, I shall endeavor to fulfill these duties to the best of my abilities. With your guidance and the support of the empire, I shall strive to govern the Skyline province with honor and dedication. Aditya offered a reassuring smile. I believe in your potential, Cain. May your tenure as the governor of the Skyline province be marked by progress and prosperity. The empire stands behind you, and I trust that you will lead with wisdom and compassion. Cain bowed respectfully, his gratitude evident in his voice. Thank you, Your Majesty. I am truly honored and grateful for this opportunity to serve the Istran Empire. Really thank you very much to all those who send support with valuable